was Ray, Finn and Poe and BB-8 as well. What a cute and wacky little droid. And hey, it's Kylo Ren and his black and evil mask. Does he scare you as much as he scares me?
The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to The Force of Others. I'm Matt Boitner.
I'm Zachary Owen Turner.
And I am Lance Candler.
And today, we are celebrating 10 years of The Force Awakens. 10 years of modern Star Wars movies, which is wild. We are so old, and I just want to point out, so, of course, welcome, as always, Lance Christopher Candler back to the show. 20 years ago... Yeah. We're going all the way.
You're getting doxxed on the internet by Matt.
20 years ago.
And your social security.
No, I'm not going to say that. 20 years ago, Lance and I saw Revenge of the Sith at midnight. 10 years ago, Lance and I saw The Force Awakens at midnight. The only reason Zach wasn't at these things was 20 years ago, I didn't know he existed yet. And then 10 years ago, I think you were living in New York.
No, I was in Ohio doing musicals about the Amish.
There it was. Well, while you were Amishing, we were Star Warsing. And if Lucasfilm and Disney had their crap together, we could have kept the 10-year streak going and seen a Star Wars movie this year, but we will wait until next summer. The excuses of industry strikes and COVID quarantine don't count. But anywho, so we are excited to talk all about The Force Awakens today and to watch The Force Awakens while we talk about it. I like this movie. Do y'all like this movie?
I forgot how much I do like this movie. Rewatching it this week, I was like, hey, this is actually, there's a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, I think it's about as perfect as what I could want from a sequel. So it was fine. It was great.
Right on. Well, I'm saying we're going to talk about the likes. We're also going to be honest and talk about maybe some of the things that don't work for us. But we want you to watch along with us, or if you want to watch along with us, here's how you do it. I have, we got our streamings or whatever all synced up. I've got it on 00. So if you are using a physical disc, get it to 00. And then I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, punch it, and on punch it. You're not playing, you're unpausing. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1, punch it! And we're off. I am looking at the Lucasfilm silver. Before we get into... Go ahead.
No fanfare here at the beginning of this.
So, takes me back to 2015 and all the things that we thought were and weren't going to happen. Star Wars opening fanfare. But yeah, no 20th Century Fox. We knew that, as the rights had gone to Disney. But Episode 7. So I remember vividly, before all the prequel films, they were marketed as Star Wars Episode 1 title. This was not. This was Star Wars The Force Awakens. And there was debate, is it going to be called Episode 7? I remember that. And so when we saw the opening crawl, which wasn't guaranteed, and Episode 7, I was like, okay, cool, good. Wasn't confident that was going to happen. And from the first line of the opening crawl, makes sense why we didn't see Luke Skywalker in any of the promotional footage. I was like, oh, okay.
Except for the table read, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But we were all like, I remember leading up to this movie, we were, where's Luke? But Lance, before we started this, you were about to talk about the last time you saw this flick. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I saw it with you in Fort Worth, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, we saw the Fort Worth Symphony played the live soundtrack to it, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was. I talked about it on the show, but I had forgotten how many crowd-pleasing moments there are in this movie.
Yeah, people were cheering the whole time for a 10-year-old movie.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's this opening shot, cute little detail that I remember picking up. You see the outline of Kylo's lightsaber hilt on the front of this ship, right there, silhouetted against the moon. Now, I think that's something they kind of added in like later on. They were like, "Hey, what if we? Oh, that's cute."
I never caught
you
that.
know.
I just liked that it's a different version than we've ever seen of, because every movie starts with some sort of ship flying over.
Yeah.
I loved that it was just a different point of view of that. You're looking up instead of down at the planet.
Yeah, and that it's a First Order ship covering up the light.
Yeah.
You know. You were about to say something. Yeah.
This opening is just so successful. It's so great to start in media res, but like everything about this opening sequence is great. Like I have no notes. Like no bad notes. Everything is just like everything right here. It moves, it's quick, it starts mystery. Like everything about this opening sequence is perfect to me.
Drops you right into it. And this first spoken line, this will begin to make things right. In my opinion, that is a shot across the bow at the prequel trilogy. I'm not saying they're right in saying that. I'm saying that I think that's what they're saying. That is JJ speaking through his characters. This will begin to make things right. And to get ahead of it, of course, then you get the great bit talking about the general. To me, she's royalty. And I love the way that they acknowledge from the jump. Leia and Luke are out there, but this is about new people. And it's going to be 40 minutes until you reunite with any of the older people. We're going to meet the new guys.
Yeah. It's just also so smart to cast Max von Sydow here. He has such a gravitas. Everything that he says, you're like, yeah, whatever you say, man, that is fact and lore. Like he has that just resonance that you're like, cool, whatever this guy says, I'm going to believe.
Well, it feels very Star Wars to have like a Peter Cushing, Alec Guinness type of character right at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. I want more Lor San Tekka. I know we've gotten a little bit in the background. If you don't know, he is a Jedi lore explorer finder.
Yes.
He goes and tries to find. He's part of the Church of the Force.
Yes.
Which is a cool character.
And if you want the story of how Poe found him, which was kind of a feat, read the Charles Sewell written Poe Dameron comic. Hard recommend. But yeah, we've only had 3 or 4 lines of spoken dialogue, and we're off and running. We're already in a battle.
Yeah.
Very similar to A New Hope. But so here comes the moment.
I love that the gun can shoot backwards.
Uh-huh.
It's like yeah, technology has evolved.
But you get so much storytelling in this movie without characters literally saying how they're feeling. Because what they're feeling is clear. Poe was going to run. He sees that these people are getting wrecked by the First Order and chooses to stay and help. Yeah. It's not they don't talk about it. You just see it on his face, and then he does the Leia thing, right? And instead of a floppy disk, he puts
flash drive.
It's a flash drive. and it just instantly, from that first shot of BB-8, I'm on board with BB-8. From the first shot of Poe, it's just you get sucked in immediately. You want to talk about iconic things? Simple, clear storytelling. We're going to introduce our stormtrooper in a grisly way with a bloody handprint on his helmet. That is also a way to distinguish him before we've seen his face.
Yeah.
Also, how many times have we seen blood in Star Wars? It's not a lot.
Not a lot.
Never.
You see it a little bit on Ponda Baba's arm when it gets chopped off in the first movie, but you don't get a lot of blood because lightsabers cauterize the blood, So it's so, I don't know, it was so striking when I remember first seeing this.
Ooh, Kylo's
exactly.
shuttle is so cool.
Again, clarity of storytelling. They don't say, well, as we know, here comes Kylo Ren. It's just like Vader walking into the hallway. You just get big, scary music. Everybody snaps to attention. But this is huge, giant, scary ship. And everybody gets serious.
Well, and that's something else is that we have everybody, we all have this muted. But John Williams is just absolutely crushing every second of this opening scene. I mean, Kylo's ship is terrifying, and it's 85% because of John Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love Kylo Ren with the hood. I don't love Kylo Ren without a hood, but this opening with his hood and everything, he looks so menacing and cool. You're just like, oh, I don't care if you're a Vader knockoff. I want to know what's going on, you know?
So jumping into what's happening here with all this very vague, we used to know each other before you were a douchebag dialogue. Jumping back to 2015, what did y'all think Kylo Ren was? Who did you think was behind the mask? We knew it was Adam Driver, of course, but did you remember any of your theories? There goes Lord Santeca. And here goes the force power that Kylo has not used since outside of the time.
And it's
that
so cool.
It's
Why
fantastic.
does he use this?
Yeah. I remember getting mad at the time, like, what? What is this? And then I thought about it, and I thought this was cute. Vader, like, yeah, Kylo stops it. Vader was just like, cool, and absorbed it on his hand. A blaster bolt, you know what I mean? Kylo has to, like, freeze it.
Well, and we see
real
that throughout
quick.
this. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, this moment right here, so who talks first? I talk first, you talk first?
Yeah.
I remember very vividly being so stressed that the movie was going to be bad. I know that sounds dumb, but so many people were telling me it was going to be terrible, and as a Star Wars fan, I was going in almost like with my guard up, and then we got our first joke that worked. Mm-hmm. The first joke landed, and I went, oh, thank God, okay, cool, cool, we're in good hands.
Star Wars has comedy, but it's a very specific vein of comedy,
And
you know?
in my opinion, I do like the prequels. There aren't a lot of jokes that work for me in the prequels. There are a lot of jokes that you're kind of like, okay. Like, clarity of storytelling, Finn just, he's awakened. He's choosing to think for himself. I'm not going to kill for them, and Kylo can sense it. But we were going to talk about something before I talked over someone. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh, that was me. I was going to say, you can see through the whole movie all the cool kind of raw, powerful stuff that Kylo does is all just like level 1 compared to Vader.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like how much he has to strain to force interrogate people, like how difficult it is, whereas Vader was very, very calm. He's like, sister, and Kylo's like, and they're like screaming and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there you go, little droid off into the night. What's up, buddy?
This alien here is, he says Kojima, which is a nod to Kojima, filmmaker, game maker.
Yeah.
Because JJ is a fan. But I also just love how linear this opening is. You know, we're not jumping back and forth. It's like, hey, we're going to tell you this story right here. So, like, beat by beat, and it works so well. Also, this moment here of Poe seeing just how well off the First Order is, he's like, wait, what? Hold on. I'm part of the Resistance, and I didn't know any of this, you know?
Well, and so, obviously, we all know this movie is a cover song of A New Hope. It's been said to death, and it's true. Finn was kind of my, like, well, actually, about it's just A New Hope again. It's like, it is, but we've never seen anything like this before. Of course, Captain Phasma in the long and storied Star Wars tradition of really cool-looking Star Wars villains that ultimately do not matter.
And it's so sad because her prequel book is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read it, but her armor is Padme's ship from the prequels.
Yeah.
Melted down, which is just such a cool moment. And
hard cut.
I love these goggles that Rey wears here. Sorry, we're skipping ahead, but so I'm wearing my real D3D glasses that were Stormtrooper glasses from 10 years ago. But I wish that we got more of this like scavenger full kit that she wears here, because I think it's so cool. But I'm just happy to exist. These shots are just beautiful too.
Well, when I've talked about, just the clarity of storytelling and the characters don't have to literally say everything that they're feeling for you to get it. By the way, we're all muted, but if you're listening to the film, John Williams, as soon as you see Daisy Ridley's face, you get this nice little flute cue, and it's like, oh, okay, right, yes, she's important. It's like, hey, you don't know yet, but she matters. But I talked about clarity of storytelling. Characters don't have to tell you things. You can just see it. This is that on writ large, on wild display. We're about to spend, I think it's like 3 minutes with Rey. We don't know her name. She doesn't speak at all until she meets BB-8, and we find out everything about her. And it is, and to me, it's investing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
she's
you absolutely fall in love with the character.
Yeah.
It's the same with Finn. You absolutely fall in love with the character, and you never hear a word from him.
And to me, that's the power of Lawrence Kasdan. JJ is really good at that, but Lawrence Kasdan is the best. When you, the co-writer for this movie, when you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's all over that film. And to me, just this whole introduction of Rey, in an era where, you know, everybody wants to rank everything, this is my favorite introduction of a lead of a Star Wars trilogy. Because when you compare it to, I was going to go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters, and Are You an Angel? Both those scenes are effective. Both those scenes work. But in terms of, like Lance said, immediately kind of falling in love with the character, this is my favorite one. You just, they don't glorify it. There aren't trumpets or anything. You just find out what her life is.
Yeah. Well, and just the design of this planet too, right? I mean, it's Tatooine-esque, but like having giant destroyers in the background as she's, you know, raiding, you're like, yeah, cool. I get it. You get everything about it, like you've been saying, but it's just a cool introduction and idea, and makes it different than Tatooine in a way that feels powerful.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I don't want to skip past her scrubbing that part.
Yeah.
And kind of looking into the future across that pond and seeing that older woman.
Well, in that moment, I didn't get it when I first said. That was the one thing that I was like, what are they saying here? Was she going to help her? And then someone was like, no, she's seeing her future. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But again, just show without telling, right? That she's notched hundreds of days on that wall. And they never explain it. It's just there. I want this muffin.
Oh, and it's practical.
It's practical.
Yeah, it's not CGI. They made
they
it.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what they do is they drain it and then they inflate a mold. They inflate a mold of it, and then she can pick it up. It's so cool. I remember I was like, how did they do that in shot? What do you mean they did that in shot? That's so so crazy.
100%.
But just talking about all of the practical effects in this movie, the return to practical effects, it feels crunchy. It feels like you can pick everything up. You know, it's great. You see a Red 5 helmet here that we all were like, oh, is that Luke's helmet? That could have been Luke's helmet because it has the little V's on the side. It's so good. It's so lived in again, which is nice. Returning from the prequels.
See, I should have kept track of how long it was, but we're just now about to hear Rey talk for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's to save BB-8. So, yeah, you're mentioning the practical effects and stuff and whatever, and I'll say it right now. Here we are, 15 minutes into the movie. Yeah, you talk about symmetry and storytelling. We're 15 minutes in, and Rey's actually going to talk. But, in 2015, this was the only type of Star Wars movie that was going to get financially backed by Disney. A retro, reboot, resequel, whatever you want to call it. Because in 2015, the prequels were not popular. And so to get the general public on board again, this was the only version of a Star Wars Episode 7 that they were going to back. And I think when you have that in mind, this is the best version of that movie that they could have made.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
It's so fast, it's so intense, it's so explosive, and it's so emotionally investing. And every single one of the new characters works. This bit right here could have been so ham-fisted and cheesy where she's trying to get the dog to go away. And the dog is like, but I like you. And she's like, ugh, fine. Like, it's directed so well. But just this bit right there where BB-8's awkward and, oh, she's watching. Yay, I can come. Like, it's, like Lance said, you are immediately, or Zach said, whoever said, you're immediately in love with both of these characters, and they've hardly done anything.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that BB-8 purrs, too, you know?
Yeah.
He's kind of cat-like, and where R2 is, you know, your trusty dog.
Well, and that's Bill Hader, isn't it?
Yes. Bill Hader does the voice.
And, what's his name?
Is there somebody else?
There is. It was like 3 different people.
Oh,
the
you're
guy who
right.
plays Sonic.
Yes. Yes. I can't think of his name right now.
John Ralphio from But we're talking over a very serious,
very scary scene. Yeah, just how were y'all freaked out by Kylo Ren at this point in this movie?
Not freaked out, but definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at the lighting.
Well, and
Well,
go ahead.
No, it's just cool to see, you know, a different kind. He is a different kind of villain. He isn't Vader-esque. Everything about him is so forceful and so it hurts. Everything hurts. You know, like even when he was frozen, he seemed kind of hurt. We literally see him about to like murder Scream. You know, as he's trying to hold the information. And also, Oscar Isaac's one of top talent of the generation.
So good,
you know?
So good. And General Hux, who I loved coming out of this movie, all the new characters worked for me.
Scary in this
He's
movie.
terrifying. We'll get to his speech later on. So right here, where Rey's like, where she's from and stuff. Because a big part of this movie was, in my opinion, it's a win, giving people theories to think about. Whether or not the answers lived up to expectations, I'm not going to get into that right now, but just the doors that they opened with this film. I'm about to talk over this fantastic Star Wars moment that they very simply set up of she just chooses to save the droid. She gets all this money. She gets more food than she's seen in her life, is the way that I read it. And she chooses not to get it just to save the dog. But
well, and
go ahead.
What an oppressive system. Unkar Plot is like, yeah, I will feed you guys if you go find this thing, but I'm never going to give you money because then you can't get off this planet.
Yeah.
You know, like she's constantly stuck. If she keeps on going in the system, she would have turned into that old lady.
Yeah. But to dive into what they're setting up, who did you think Rey was in 2015? Did you have theories, thoughts, hopes for what her last name was?
I was hoping it was a Kenobi.
Yeah?
I forgot about that. There was a whole theory about that.
Yeah. I wanted her to be a Kenobi. I know it doesn't make any lick of sense unless it was like Satine's illegitimate son's granddaughter, but
well, there was a whole thing about good guys having American accents and bad guys having English accents, and she had an English accent, and so did Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this too. The cockiness that Poe's about to have, I can fly anything, is such a like Star Wars moment too, where he's like, no, I'm really good at this. Like,
well, and you see Finn pretending like he's this big heroic character, and then it turns out he's a coward that needs a pilot.
Yeah, it's again
because it's the right thing to do.
You need a pilot? I need a pilot. We're gonna do this.
John Boyega is masterful in this movie, and the amount of times that any other actor might not have worked, where he's just like, you got a boyfriend, you got a cute boyfriend, like like he has this like quippiness about him. It's like, Solo, what are we doing here, like later on, but like his ability to have these little quippy moments but still be grounded and serious is really, really masterful in my opinion.
Well,
a little detail
redesigns of all these ships are so cool too.
Yeah, little detail that I always loved. You saw Poe take his jacket off there when he sits down.
Yeah.
Because I remember after the first time I saw it, I was like, well, wait a minute. How is the jacket separate? You literally see him take it off as he sits down so that later on when, quote unquote, he gets thrown from the ship, you can get your passing the torch moment and Finn can put the jacket on and kind of try and carry on Poe's mission. Right?
Yeah.
I
love the advancement, like Lance was saying, of a TIE fighter here, of having 2 pilots. One for guns, one for ships. It would make a very fast ship. Even when he comes out, he goes, oh, this thing can really move.
Yeah.
It's cool to see a rebellion pilot flying this new TIE fighter and be like, oh, wait, these are actually really good.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So, did you guys ever kind of... This is such a fantastic moment. You buy Finn and Poe as boys, as best friends, immediately. In this one sequence, Poe names him. Anyway, I know we know, but it's simplicity and clarity of storytelling. Big ideas told in very straightforward ways. That's when Star Wars is at its best. But did you guys ever react? What were your reactions to Finn turning on the First Order and immediately being down with shooting other stormtroopers with these cannons and such?
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I bump it. I never thought about it, but when you think about it, you're like, oh wait, you kind of bump into it a little bit. The guy later who calls him traitor. There's a prequel comic where they were buds, like growing up, like in the First Order. So it's very interesting. I think it works retroactively because of the Janna stuff in the third movie, where she's like, yeah, we also were just like, we're not going to do this. We're stormtroopers too. I think it's interesting that the First Order here uses, they talk about how these stormtroopers are taken as kids. They use the Jedi model. They use the Jedi take kids from their parents and train them to be Jedi, and so it's very interesting seeing that model twisted into a villainous thing here, and you kind of realize like, yeah, it is a little messed up. Not a little bit. It's a lot of messed up what the Jedi do too,
Yeah, it was villainous when they did it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we're a ways into this thing. We're only right now about to find out what it is that he gave BB-8.
Yeah.
We are 23 minutes in, and he's just now about to say it's a map that leads straight to Luke Skywalker. What, you gotta be kidding me? And then you move on.
Yeah.
And we're all like,
Well, and I love this trope for the next 45 minutes of him trying to get away from Jakku, and everybody trying to go to Jakku.
Yeah.
I think
why is everybody trying to go to Jakku?
I think this is where they say, yeah, no prior signs of nonconformity. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they have the picture of him as a kid, too, on the screen, which is creepy and evil.
So, Kylo can, of course, has sensed him and stuff, or at least could sense there was something up. With what we know about Finn now, that he is, in fact, Force-sensitive, do you think that's what Kylo was sensing? It's a retroactive thought, or was it just that he could tell that maybe he had broken free of the conditioning?
I think it's probably the latter more, Because otherwise, Snoke would have been like, there's an awakening. Have you felt it? And he would have been like, yeah, that stormtrooper, right? I felt that.
Yeah, that random stormtrooper, it was him.
So, question for y'all. This was supposed to originally, in the original script, be the ending of Poe Dameron. He was supposed to die right here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Which is why he gets the thing. Do you think Poe would still be as iconic of a character if he didn't come back? Or is it more of a, oh yeah, that pilot guy, that was cool?
I think it would be more like, oh yeah, that pilot guy, that was cool. And people would be going, I wish he had been around. We needed a new Wedge. That's probably what people would say. But yeah, he was brought back later into the script because JJ pitched the role, offered it to Oscar Isaac, and then he's like, hey man, I've done several movies where I die after like 10 minutes, and I think I'm okay. And so then JJ was like, I really want this guy. So him and Kazdan talked it over, and we're like, we figured it out. We figured out how you come back, and then you're still in the rest of the movie, and like, do you want to do it now? And he was like, great. Because pretty late into the writing process and into the casting process, the movie was Finn and Rey. And it still is. And Oscar Isaac was just the mentor that kind of brings Finn onto the journey, right? And then dies. That jump scare, or quote-unquote jump scare, when the TIE fighter explodes after getting sunk into the sinking sands, is supposedly a Steven Spielberg addition to this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard that. Who knows? These tall tales that get passed around about the making of movies. But JJ was constantly bringing in just kind of, frankly, friends to, like, just onto set and whatever. Like, come play, come party. And I like this dynamic between Kylo and Hux. That Kylo is the Force side of the First Order, and Hux is the brilliant, like, convinced military genius of the First Order, and they do not cooperate.
Well, it kind of feels like Vader and Tarkin, the teen years, like
the teen years. Yeah. Yes, honestly, yes. I think that's very much the idea. And Hux is just—I've said it before on the show, but Hux is so competent in this movie. And
he's such a wasted character later.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of them are kind of wasted later.
Well, okay, but we love this movie. We talked over it, and the movie's muted right now. But the loop group that they brought in for the ADR recording, so many just fun random alien noises in that sequence. There's one that's literally like, bah! Like it's just. And we know now it's Whitwer and Collins and a bunch of people, and you can hear those voices if you know them. But just going up and just making a bunch of random alien sounds and then just putting them into the movie. What were you gonna say?
Did Matt Wood do this?
Yeah, you can hear it in there a couple times.
I didn't know if he was the sound designer for this.
Yeah, I think he was head of at this point. I also love that giant rhino alien, whatever that pack animal giant thing is so cool. So that's a good pull.
Hogsquaddle, I do remember, is what Kyle Newman called it on a Rebel Force Radio, but I'm pretty sure it's called like a Hapabore. But let's face it, Hogsquaddle is a better name. Yeah. And just this, Finn doesn't know who he went to save her, and then he's like, oh, she can handle it. And now she's charging at him, teeth out. He's like, oh, wait, what? It's
I love his
so
exit
funny.
stage left here.
Yeah.
Well, I love that BB-8's like, hey, that's my master's jacket that dude
and
has.
He doesn't
like,
know
all right.
anything. And again, these are people that are going to become the best of friends, and she's trying to kill him.
Well,
BB-8, yeah.
Also, BB-8 just coming up, tase.
Yeah.
Like,
And the way he's like rocking back and forth, you're like, do something, make a move, I dare you. The puppeteering is so good.
Well, and John Boyega does the same thing that Harrison Ford does, which is really, really funny when he's scared or when he's mad.
Yes, 100%. Because you see it later in this movie in the Rathtar sequence. Harrison Ford looks hilarious when he's running and scared.
Yeah.
While still being like masculine and cool, but he just looks funny when he's in trouble. And John Boyega does the exact same bit. And again, right here, BB-8 just crushed that Poe didn't make it and just rolls away to be by himself. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm doing the Schwarzenegger thing where I'm just narrating what you're looking at, but it's just do things, don't announce them. And this movie does that so well. Like Finn's lie that I am with the Resistance.
Well, he's so good at bluffing bad. You know, he's like, yeah, no, this is what we look like. Some of us, kind of. Other people look like other things. It's so great. And I love that Rey's not a damsel in this movie. She's not a damsel in distress. He sees her, and she takes out like 4 dudes here, and then she takes him out, and then later on she's like, stop holding my hand!
So this moment that just happened, Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth. That is the idea that got JJ to agree to doing Episode 7. He was very resistant to being the guy. Because I was like, I love Star Wars so much. I don't know what I can add to it. And then, whether it was Kathleen Kennedy or somebody, it was probably Kathleen Kennedy, said, the idea that we're rolling with right now, kind of the central thing, is that the characters think Luke Skywalker's not real. They think he's a myth. And he was like, whoa. Okay, I'm in.
Well,
that's a good idea.
Who walks into a room with Vader and Palpatine in handcuffs and comes out the only man alive? I mean...
Yeah. When you're just a farm boy from Tatooine, people wouldn't know that story. They would think it was a legend. And this bit is so great that they're hiding, and then Finn hears TIE fighter engines and knows they're in trouble. Like, let's go.
Well, once again, we have it muted, but the sound design of the TIE fighters is so good.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah.
We don't get a lot of that in atmosphere in the original trilogy.
Well, that's what they sold this movie on. One of the opening trailers was like them coming over the sun, and you're like, oh, what is this, apocalypse now? Look at TIE fighter moment. That's cool.
And you want to talk about great reveals of legacy characters and legacy things, I will die on this hill. Absolutely brilliant moment. That one's garbage, and we don't know what it is yet. And I remember thinking, there's no way. There's no way. And then it blows up. The garbage will do. And you get the Rebel fanfare for the first legacy character, the Millennium Falcon.
Well, and what a cheer this got. Every time I've seen this in theaters many times, but every
Yes.
single time, this gets as big a cheer as Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, and
go ahead.
it's so well done. It looks so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it even has the scorch marks for where, like, when one of them is plugged in and, like, there's a fire that happens, I think it's in A New Hope, the scorch marks are literally on the wall. It's so great.
JJ talked about how while obviously there was the, in my opinion, mandate, we need to make this a retro thing. We need to get the oldest generation, the longest generation back, right? But JJ talked about how they wanted to use the old to introduce the new. Also, we'll talk about it more later. Rey barely flies through this sequence. She wrecks so much stuff with the Falcon. Is she overpowered?
Simon Pegg
Maybe.
here being,
Yeah.
That's mine.
But she's not this perfect pilot that everybody makes her out to be. She is serviceable in this sequence. But I was going to say, JJ talked about wanting to use the old to introduce the new, right? Use the familiar to introduce new characters. And I think one of the best examples of that, fantastic shot, is here we are 40 minutes into the first Star Wars movie, a sequel to Return of the Jedi. We're 40 minutes in. And it's not Han and Chewie flying the Falcon for the first time on screen in our lives. It's these new characters, and I didn't bump up against it a little bit. There's definitely a version of this that people will be going, why are we seeing these people fly this ship? Where's Han and Chewie? Where are the people that like we care about? And we're on board with these people. So, you know, and
I love that the Falcon is clunky and rusty. Like, he's in the chair and it's like clunk, clunk, you know?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen, so Matt, you just talked about that beautiful shot of like the Falcon doing a big circle and the camera does another circle and all that. Have you guys seen it when it's stabilized?
Mm-mm.
It's just a loop. It just does a loop in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so beautifully shot. And you're like, yeah, wow, she's doing some cool stuff.
Well,
She knows how to listily move to the left. She knows some moves.
good deep cut.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's kind of what I meant earlier when I was talking about Kylo and Hux, but everything just kind of feels like, when a teenager is going to their first dance and they wear dad's suit, and it's a little big and it's a little dated, and it's all just these young characters getting to play in the OT world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and, we talk about Jakku. Before this movie, Star Wars was pretty intentional about George making all the planets look really, really distinct, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see this, and it's Tatooine again. I was convinced it was Tatooine in the trailers, and then I remember
renamed.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was Tatooine, and then JJ said, I think at Star Wars Celebration 2015, that it's not Tatooine. It's a planet called Jakku, and I remember being like, what? What? It looks exactly the same. And I know that sounds silly now, but I think at the same time, now that we were going to get so much visual storytelling in this universe, you had to rip off the scab and be like, hey, guys, in a planet of unlimited, in a galaxy of unlimited planets, some are going to look kind of similar. That's the only way we're going to be able to tell a bunch of stories, especially in live action.
Oh, sure.
You know?
My biggest problem, and this is not just with this movie, but yeah, this is so cool. But in Star Wars as a franchise is the one city planet.
Yes.
It's like, of course, when they wreck the TIE fighter, they're going to be 2 miles from Rey and the only settlement that we ever see on this planet. But it's that way with every planet, every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Tatooine has like 3, but it's like Mos Espa, Mos Eisley, and Mos Pelagos.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately,
towns.
Ultimately, I think that comes down to Star Wars works best when the next place you go to, the next location you go to, isn't a location on the same planet that is ultimately not going to look very different, right? You go from an ice planet to a swamp planet. You know what I mean? George wanted it to be wildly different, so it's instantly recognizable. Also, Finn is about to tell the truth here. Boyega plays it so well. She's like, we'll get to your base. And he's gonna tell her, and in Star Wars fashion, there's another problem they have to deal with, and you can't have that character moment yet. Right?
Yeah. This scene is so interesting to me. It's such a great way to show a difference between Kylo and Vader that we're about to get into. You know, but question: he's about to be like they escaped with the help of a girl,
Yes.
and Kylo pulls this dude in and chokes him. He's like, "What girl?" But why? Why? I always wondered, like, why. Is it because he has felt the awakening and that he knows it's a female awakening? Or, like, I don't know. I was always like, what? Why?
Oh,
So, go ahead, Lance.
I think this movie makes it very clear that JJ was building a story where they all know about Rey, or they all know something about Rey. This girl is something special, and everybody's aware of it, and it's just the viewer that doesn't. It's like a reverse dramatic irony.
That is the way that I've always read it, too. I thought... I mean, we'll get into my theory way later on, that I think I might have gotten from somewhere else. I don't remember. But, to lay credence to this, in the Force Awakens novelization, when Rey pulls the lightsaber to her, Kylo says, "It is you." And then they fight.
Oh.
So they were absolutely doing what Lance was saying, that people knew who that was. Every time Han looks at Rey, he's looking at her closer and closer and closer. And when Leia meets Rey, like, you know, yes, she does walk past Chewie and it's a dumb moment, but she goes right up to her. This bit with Finn, I'm talking over it, but Finn and BB-8 is perfect. The puppeteering is
thumbs up.
perfect. You see a droid having to make a decision.
Yeah.
And thumbs up. You talk about audience cheers. Everybody laughed and cheered.
I also, if I'm ever looking for a job in the Star Wars universe, it's gonna be selling motivators, man. It's always the motivator. She literally pops up. She goes, "It's the motivator. It's bad." So you're gonna see, like, when I'm in the Star Wars universe, Turner's motivators. Ours won't, run out in 12 parsecs.
This is such a successful sequence because it's such a simple little thing that they're fixing. Ultimately, all that they're doing, she's patching a pipe so there's not smoke in the cabin anymore, right?
Yeah.
But they make it sound like it's going to flood with poisonous gas and we're all going to die. I talked about on the show before something JJ said to Ron Howard when Ron was making Solo. He was like, the biggest thing I came out learning out of Force Awakens was Star Wars works best when every single choice the characters make is life and death. Every single one. Did you guys think the First Order had captured them here?
Yes.
I did.
Absolutely.
When they first came up.
Yeah.
The red lights, it works so well.
Yes. And what I was getting at earlier we're pretty far into this movie before, spoilers. Oh, sorry, now we're at the 40-minute mark where Han and Chewie are about to show up. You introduce the new characters, you invest the audience in them, and then you reunite with the people that we already know. If it was the other way, it wouldn't work. If you started the movie with Han, Luke, and Leia on an adventure, and then when you're trying to invest the audience in the new leads, nobody cares because you're just focused on Han, Luke, and Leia. But if you bring us onto the Finn and Rey side, right, and then Han shows up as well, which top 5 greatest hero entrances in any movie ever. I know I'm a fanboy, but perfection.
I was rewatching it this week and I teared up at this moment.
Well, they just look so
perfect.
good.
It's perfect, and it's the perfect way. It is a meta line, right? We're home, right? Our childhood heroes are back, but it's also them coming onto their home, that they're being reunited with it as well.
Yeah. I also love that they're wearing the masks from Episode 5 when they're going out to face the Minox in the worm.
Yeah.
Those are the same masks that the original crew is wearing.
And people got mad at that because it's fan service, but it's also like, it's consistency.
Yeah.
That's just
what
paying
else would they
attention
do?
to the universe, in my opinion.
Question, though. How does Rey speak Shriwook?
Because it's fun.
Because everybody speaks Shriwook.
I mean, how does she speak
No,
astromech?
That's true.
Well,
She speaks fluent
That's
BB-8.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BB-8 I buy because she's a mechanic. She's had to be a mechanic to survive. You're Han Solo. I used to be.
The rebellion general? No, the smuggler. That's such a great way to reintroduce a character, being like, hey, no, these two people know him from different things. That's
12!
how much of a legend he is, that he has all of these myths about him, and
Yes.
nobody believes all of them,
Yes.
you know?
This movie works if it's the first Star Wars thing you ever see.
Yeah.
And they
the
cut
smile
something
here.
here. They cut something here that really messed with Last Jedi and Solo. Originally, Han has that moment of being happy about the cockpit, puts his dice over the dash, right? And JJ ended up cutting it because while that's there in A New Hope, I never knew it was there until this movie. I never noticed. And it's a distracting moment. It's better to have Han get into the cockpit and just be like, take a moment of, I'm back, baby. Awesome. Of course, Han's not going to help these kids until they're like, we're looking for Luke Skywalker, and he stops cold. Right? Again, if you haven't seen the original trilogy, this works. Because you're with Finn and Rey and you go, wait, this guy was real? This old guy knows him? What's the deal? But, of course, Ryan did not know they were going to cut that shot of the dice, and so made it such an emotional thing in The Last Jedi. And then he saw the movie in the theater and was like, what? Oh, no. We have already shot the movie.
I some great other Han Solo moments that we talked over.
Yeah.
Moof milker, such a great insult. There's like some moof milker put the thing on the, or that might be coming up soon.
No, he already did. Some moof milker
he
put
did.
something on the whatever drive.
Yeah.
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 Well, and I love the physical comedy of BB-8. To this whole thing, all the different little cables shooting out everywhere, and he's always upside down, and
It's a very
It's hard being a ball, right?
yeah,
it's a very ingenious way to get out of the just to fix some shooting problems. Like in the George movies, obviously eventually they gave R2 a jetpack. But they never really showed him dealing with stairs. They would just cut away.
I don't know why this is an iconic moment of this movie. It might because of every podcaster pulled up onto it, but "Tell That to Kanji Club" is one of the quotes that I just sticks in my head from this movie.
Yeah.
"Tell that to Kanji Club," which we're about to get. I also love Balatik's henchmen, the cool red dot helmets are so unique and fun.
In the Star Wars tradition of reusing character designs, that was an early design for the Kylo Ren character, at the time just known as Jedi Killer, right? They knew they wanted a Jedi heavy, right? But the comedy in this movie, in my opinion, 9.9 out of 10 jokes work. Yeah. Han and Chewie are perfect. You could say it's derivative that they're the same guys. There you go, tell that to Kanji Club. You could say it's derivative that they're the same guys 30 years later, but it's also so funny.
Yeah, Kanji Club, who has the worst haircut ever, 2 double faux hawks. Man.
And that is, of course, Kanji Club is the cast of, it was a martial arts movie that JJ loved called The Raid, if I remember right.
That's awesome if you haven't seen it.
I remember everybody freaking out about what cool martial arts thing are they going to do? And it's like, nothing. They're
gonna get eaten
they're in a
by
fun
our favorite meatball with tentacles.
There you go. And 2 fugitives. There was a moment where I thought, okay, has Han reverted completely? Is he gonna turn in Finn and Rey? How full smuggler has he gone? Right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's even a moment of him thinking about doing that?
No,
not at all.
no.
Yeah, probably not. And I'm not saying he should have.
Maybe 40 years ago, but not. Maybe after Solo: A Star Wars Story, but. So we have given Rathtars a lot of hate, or made fun of them a lot on this podcast, but we do have a thing called the Ridiculous Rathtar, and rewatching this movie, I was like, oh wait, no, they are terrifying.
It's
funny.
funny.
This shot here.
Yeah, well, and we're coming up on funny Harrison Ford running. But when they started rolling around like tennis balls, Harrison Ford, tennis balls with tentacles, I remember that was the first time in the theater in midnight in 2015, and just grabbing that guy and throwing him to his death.
I'm gonna punch him and feed him. All right, let's go.
But that was the first time where I was like, it's not perfect. And I felt myself go, I can go down the angry fanboy route and get mad that it's not only doing things that I love, or I can enjoy the ride.
Yeah, it's Indy running from the rock.
It's Indy running from the rock, but it's a Star Wars monster rock. Also, this whole sequence, Rey's fault. Rey is not perfect. She does a lot of stuff well, but she about crashed the Falcon 4 times. And she's the reason this happens.
Yeah. You guys think Finn was going to get eaten here?
Oh, 100%. He was toast. If she doesn't save him, he's toast.
Oh, well.
Why doesn't it eat him right away, though? Because we see him eat everybody else right away. You know?
It's full. They're taking him back for a snack later on.
That works. I do remember bumping up against that once I realized, wait, they show it eating everyone immediately, and then it's not eating Finn right away because he matters. But yeah, there you go. I like that, Lance. It's full, and he's going to be a snack later on.
Putting in a little spaghetti web.
Well, these like 70s CCTV monitors.
Yeah.
It's the whole environment looks so good.
Yeah. It's so not Star Trek, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Prequel trilogy, everything was so pristine. The monitors would have never looked like that.
Yeah.
So this is something I bump into on this movie. You guys really think this is the first time Han Solo has shot Chewie's blaster?
Wow. I kind of have always headcanoned it, and this might be in a reference book or something somewhere that they've said this, but I kind of figured Chewie souped it up recently. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to work, and then, wow.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, it's a great moment, and you get the later is like, hey, can I borrow that?
Yeah.
Well, and it shows you how powerful the weapon is, so that when Kylo gets sniped by it later on, you see what a big deal it is.
Yes, that he's fine, that he's bleeding out, but he's not wrecked. I love this bit. Yeah. It's not the way I thought this day was going to go. That's quintessential Han Solo. There's a monster trying to eat into your ship. Go ahead.
And Finn just pulls out the old training droid from A New Hope.
That was the only one that I thought was a little fan servicey, that he picks it up, holds it, shows it to the camera, and throws it away.
Yeah.
Well, and they're gonna light speed away and split this Rathdart.
Awesome. So, do you guys like that Rey is better at the mechanical side of the Falcon than Han is?
I don't think she's better. I think she just is more up to date with it.
Good
Because she worked on it for Unkar Plutt, so she knows that because he has the fuel line, he has all these extra things that were added. Han's not used to it. It's like walking into your old car and somebody has changed the steering wheel and changed it from automatic to manual, and you're like,
I like
what?
that.
What?
Well, I don't think that Han has to be this mechanical genius for his character to work. I think it's way funnier for a lot of the problems with the Falcon to be the fact that Han 80% knows what he's doing.
Yes. Oh, probably 40.
Yeah.
40%.
And that's why they're always fixing it.
So Snoke, obviously.
Did y'all think he was this big?
I did, and I spent this whole scene groaning and worried. I was like, what are we going to do with a giant kaiju villain? Yeah.
I kind of wish he was, though. That would have been a cool fight,
But I guess I just don't know how you could have made it interesting with them fighting a kaiju Jedi man. Yeah. The only thing I don't like in this movie, the only moment that I think doesn't work at all, your father, Han Solo. I feel like Kylo Ren should look at him like, bro, I know. Who are you talking to?
Like, Snoke should look at the camera when he says it.
Yeah.
The Emperor does the same thing, is like the son of Anakin Skywalker.
The offspring of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, dude, that's me.
But but we don't know that Vader is Anakin at that point. At that point, that's Snoke pulling the rug out from everybody. By the way, this is Han's kid. You know what I mean? We don't know that Vader's Anakin. I like your point about Rey's just more up to date.
Yeah. Also, why do you need a compressor if she's able to bypass it here in a little bit?
Because Star Wars is fantasy, not fiction. It doesn't matter. Because she needed to gobbledygook the goobledygook to save the goobenschmooben. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
The goobenschmooben.
And this is, again, every decision is life and death. This is so funny. Chewie's mad at Finn, and he's going to strangle him. And Rey's trying to fix the ship so that they don't blow up.
Well, Rey's line delivery here is so good.
See, I love this moment. I bypassed the compressor.
He's like,
Just all teeth.
Right here, move ball. Great bit. Great bit.
I didn't catch that on my rewatch.
It's the best. So many things to love in this moment. Han sees straight through Finn's lie.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't have to announce it. He's just like, okay. And then we move on. And of course, here in a minute, everybody knows, but if you don't know, I'm going to spell it out for you. As Han is standing in the same place he was sitting in episode 4, where he was like, hokey religions, ancient weapons, no master of blaster at your side, kid. Seen a lot of strange things in this galaxy. Never seen anything make believe there's some all-powerful force, just completely dismissing the force. In a minute, he confirms to the characters and to everybody. It's all true. Yeah. All of it. And that was in the second trailer, and I got chills. I might have cried. I don't remember.
You get such great information here. He's like, he was training a new group of Jedi. Like, he is lore jumping so much so quickly, and you're like, oh my god, what do you mean? What happened? Where's that story?
And so, of course, the reason for Luke's removal from this story, and I like the reasoning. I see people clown on it all the time. But you see how much the confirmation that all this is real means to Finn and Rey. There's a fantastic push in on them in a second. As Han is saying it, that it's all true. It fulfills them in a way. Like the world, the universe, here you go. The universe is greater and more like just wonderful than we knew. And like it's true. They're right there. That they're just like stars and literal stars in their eyes. Just like, what? Our dreams can come true? But the reason for Luke being kind of the MacGuffin of the movie, right, was it was either J.J. or Michael Arndt, and I think it was J.J., because Michael Arndt was the original screenwriter for Episode 7, and it was going to take him years to write it, and Disney didn't have time for that. They said this movie comes out 3 years after we bought it. But they couldn't come up with a way to not have Luke take over the movie, because they were so much more interested in Luke than the other characters, and they were like, okay, so to give these other characters room to breathe, let's not have him show up till the end. And so right there, Han looking at Rey. She's like, I never knew there was this much green in the whole galaxy, and he stares at her. I took that as, like Lance was saying, is he starting to figure out who she is? And it's
another theory was that she was their other kid, because the EU, they had twins.
Yeah.
There was Jason and Jaina, so it'd be very interesting if it was Ben and Rey are twins.
Coming into this movie, I thought that's what it was. I thought we were going to know from the jump that Rey was Han and Leia's kid.
Yeah.
And that Finn was the brother, that Kylo was the brother, and we didn't, and that was going to be the reveal, right?
Yeah.
A great moment with Finn and Han, we just talked over. Han, Mr. Solo. Now listen, big deal. I'm a big deal in the Resistance. Listen, big deal. What were you going to say?
Yeah. Just interesting, too, because I think originally Rey's name was Kiara, because back in 2015, you could audition for this. They had open auditions.
Yeah.
And yours truly auditioned for Force Awakens in college. And but it was the scene at the very beginning with Finn and Rey. It was like a kind of a offshoot of that.
Yeah.
Their first meet. But
fake dialogue. When at one point it was Kira, and then they ended up
Kira or Kiara, something like that.
They might have said Kiara on like the audition thing, but I remember from the Art of Force Awakens book, they talked about how it was Kira, and then they repurposed that name because Lawrence Kasdan liked it for Solo. Again, this bit right here, are you offering me a job? I wouldn't be nice to you. Doesn't pay much. It's just him going, obviously now I think it's probably just that he's like, this kid's got talent. So I'm going to offer a spot on the crew that I'm not going to offer this big deal kid. But I thought, it's a shame. Chewie likes you. I thought, my theory was that it's either she's Luke's long-lost kid and Han's starting to wonder, or, as soon as we're seeing this scene, it's like, okay, so she's not Han and Leia's, because he would know.
Yeah.
But I thought that she was Luke's long-lost kid.
Well, and Sam Witwer does a whole spiel on this, where he says that at this point, his theory was that when Kylo killed everybody, all the kids, killed everybody at the Jedi Temple, this was his baby sister, and he just couldn't do it.
Yes.
So he, without Snoke knowing, he snuck her off and dropped her off on Jakku, which
would have been great.
Which really, if you look at the Force back, that's
what it looks like,
what it implies, and so that's why everybody kind of feels like they know who she is, because this is Han saying, like, you remind me so much of my daughter, but my daughter died 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. That's what I thought it was. And that when Kylo's like, what girl? And all that stuff. I thought it was exactly what you were saying. Sidebar, love me some Maz Kanata. I love all the new characters in this movie. The only thing I don't like about this sequence is, we talked over it with better stuff, but you sped through the cantina. You literally sped through it. That's J.J. Abrams style camera work. It's what he loves. But I would like to see it. We get some moments now, but we just speed through the initial walk of the cantina. And I just, me personally, I would rather get to look at it all.
Yeah, I love this little droid with the microphone for a mouth.
Yeah.
It's such a cool design. But also, this is the piece of music that's not written by John Williams.
Yeah.
Thing. Written by the GOAT, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Jabba Flow, as it's called.
Yeah. Oh, Jabba.
They told the story, I think it was outside of Hamilton. I'll be quick, because it's a better scene. But JJ came on Star Wars Day to sing that song live at like the stage door for Hamilton, and Lin-Manuel told the story of a year before. He had been like, hey, man, if you need any music for like the cantina scene, let me know. And JJ was like, you're never going to believe this, but I need music for the cantina scene. But okay, so the choice to make Kylo Ren a Vader fanboy, upset that he cannot live up to the legacy of Vader. Thoughts on that?
Well, I love that it's a seduction to the light side, that he's like, I will not be seduced by the light side. We talked over it earlier.
Yeah.
I love that it's this thing. And one of the things that really works from the third movie that helps me in this one is that Palpatine has been every voice he's ever heard inside his head, including Vader. So I love that he's like, no, I'm going to finish what you started. Like, I know you told me you want this. Like, you told me I should be this. And so I love that he's been just tricked this entire time, but he is always, his natural feeling is to do good and to do light. It's just a really cool character moment.
Well, I talk about, some of these moments are more well known now, what got some of these more established actors and artists to commit to join in the Star Wars universe. Adam Driver didn't really want to do this, right? But then what sold him on it was that they were doing the reverse of the Darth Vader character arc, where Darth Vader starts episode 4 fully committed to the dark side, and they slowly chop away at that commitment over the original trilogy, whereas here, he's not fully committed. He is the most vulnerable and the most could go either way, not wanting to be seduced to the light side like you're talking about. And that then, by at least the end of the second movie, was what he said, the intention was that he is fully committed to evil. He is the big bad now. Of course, they ended up going a different way in Rise of Skywalker, which I love Ben Solo. I think Ben Solo's sequence in that movie is great. But to talk about what we're talking about, what we're watching, that's what committed him to the movie. That he thought the reverse of Darth Vader was interesting. This is so funny.
Maz is such a great old lady.
Yeah.
Like, everything about her just screams old lady, like the earlier, "Where's my boyfriend? I like that Wookiee."
Well,
That's such an old lady line.
oh, and I'm forgetting. I'll put it in the doobly-doo below. But the character is based on a teacher that two
really?
members of the production team had. They didn't know. They both got taught by the same person. Cool. And she had she had red hair and big old glasses that were like, yeah, it always felt like she could look into my eyes and into my soul when I was lying. So,
yeah. Also, who should have been the Boba Fett of this movie? This cool red helmet.
The Crimson Corsair.
Yeah, I think he's so cool looking.
Yeah. Just about the background designs, the sequel trilogy, all the background aliens, I love that they're all new. I also don't. I would like a mix, because it was this thing in the Lucas Star Wars that for 30 years, we pretty much all saw the same aliens, right? Yeah. And then in the sequels, you get Nine Numb, Akbar, Chewie, and every other alien is completely new. A species we have never seen before. Which is cool.
No Twi'leks,
but yeah, no Twi'leks, no Corran, no Aqualish, no, nothing. Oh, and I guess you get Ewoks for a scene, for like a second in Rise of Skywalker. But I would like... It's cool that it's all new and different, but it's also, I would prefer a mix with a lot of new and different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like there should be a Rodian somewhere
in
this bar.
Yeah. Just throw me one, And they've done it in the...
It almost takes you out of the Star Wars universe a little bit. You're
yes.
like, wait, what? But we were so populated. Like, no Duros, no Wolfmans, give me something.
Yeah. 100%. I think Boyega is very talented. I think that Kazdan and JJ are good screenwriters. I think this monologue it's the only moment in the movie that for me feels kind of forced.
Oh, really? I disagree.
I think he sells it as good as you can, but it doesn't quite... It feels like a movie monologue in a way that most of the rest of this flick doesn't. Just for me.
You think it's the push-in? You think it's the angle?
I think it's the words. I think it kind of goes against what... one of the things that I love so much is that they're showing and not telling for the whole movie. This is him literally telling her everything. Well, and I don't know how else you do it, but... Go ahead.
I just think it's language that Finn wouldn't use.
Yes.
It just doesn't sound like something he would say.
Yes.
But he said it, so I guess it is something he would say.
So we're coming up on Rey's Force Vision. There's a deleted scene that they cut here that I'm very happy they cut because it would have ruined the emotional flow. We went straight from Finn's confession to Rey taking her first steps, as Obi-Wan says, literally on the movie. But there was a deleted scene of Unkar Plutt had followed them to Maz's castle, and Chewie finally makes good on what we've always heard, rips his arms off, and throws them on the table. Very happy that didn't happen, because while amazing, this is two back-to-back emotional moments, and it's good to not cut away for a joke.
How would he have tracked them all the way? Oh, I guess he could put a tracker on the Falcon.
Yeah, Han says that if we could find that on our scanners, the First Order can too. But so Rey's Force Vision, like Lance was talking about, I thought, and you can see it, because Kylo kills someone, turns towards her, and then marches towards her, and the next thing we see is her on Jakku, being dropped off.
And he's killing who is clearly a Knight of Ren, who is about to kill her.
It looked, I thought that too. I definitely thought that's what they were saying.
So it looks like...
Was it Constable Zuvio?
It's I mean, it's a similar design because it's someone, and JJ likes metal hats on his characters. They finally got around to saying what it was in the Legacy of Vader comic now, and it's still a big moment for Kylo, but it has nothing to do with Rey. But you'll see it right here. So the first thing we get, I didn't realize this. That's a hallway from Cloud City.
Yeah.
I never got that until I heard what was supposed to happen originally was she turns and we see Luke and Vader fighting on the bridge. The only reason I would like to see that, would have liked to have seen that, is because I never got that was Cloud City because they light it so differently. So yeah, this right here, he kills someone that is about to kill Rey in this vision.
Because the rain's falling on her too.
Yeah. And then he marches towards her and we cut to her being dropped off on Jakku. So I thought, like Lance was saying, and I don't remember if it was a Whipper theory or if it was a FJ DeSanto theory, but I thought that it was he kind of wiped her mind and dumped her on Jakku because he didn't have it in him to kill her.
Well, and I love that it's consistent with like Force dreams that we've now seen in like the Jedi Knights comic book, where it shows past, future, present, like all different things in different versions, so you don't fully know what it is. You know, it's confusing on purpose.
Yeah. And really, it's just she's following the journey of this saber and her destiny in the Force that she has to face Kylo. So it still works. You know?
Think that it's a do you think that it's a force power that she innately has, that when she touches the lightsaber, it's kind of like in Jedi Fallen Order? Or do you think that it's more of a Harry Potter, the wand chooses the wizard, like the lightsaber is speaking to her, the Kyber crystal?
Well, Kyber crystals do choose their Jedi, so it could be.
It's all, I like it best when it's a bit of both, but I do think in this moment, because she hasn't actively used the Force yet, intentionally, right? I think it's the saber calling to someone. Someone needs to use me for good. Someone needs to use me for good again. And so it's a connection that she doesn't know what she experiences, what she's experiencing in that moment.
Yo, Star Wars just another ripoff of Harry Potter.
Star Wars came first.
I love that. We get an explanation why Maz is 1,000 years old. She's like, I'm no Jedi, but I know the Force. It's like, look, I've just been around long enough where I know. And
it's it's a new way to describe the Force that is still perfectly in line with everything we've heard before, right? And quintessential hero's journey. Rey finally, about an hour into the movie, gets the call to adventure and runs away. Literally runs away. And it causes problems. She doesn't get captured if she doesn't run away. You know what I mean? She's probably still with Finn and Han and Chewie, and they go to the Resistance base. And
now, one of the scariest speeches in all of Star Wars.
So terrifying.
Yeah.
So I think there's one of two ways to react to Hux in this movie. There's two ways that people react. There's the way that it seems like we do, where this works, and I was very afraid of him. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, that is a, like, militarized, brainwashed youth that is brilliant, that has been sucked into the machine and fully commits and is going to use his powers to kill billions, right?
Yeah.
Scary. There's that, or there's the people, because like my dad, for one of them, and a lot of people just kind of thought he was funny and not scary at all. I don't know, but my speculation is that Rian Johnson was more of the second way. That he was like, it didn't work for him, he thought it was funny, which is why, from the first moment of Last Jedi, he's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of laughs at him. He's a punchline for the rest of the trilogy. Both interpretations, I mean, whatever. You react to art how you react, but I think just the red light of the weapon that he has constructed in his eyes, and it's like, again, it's the dark version of what happened with Finn and Rey earlier, light in their eyes that was fulfilling them, but it was like joy and hope, and this is like death. Yes! Yeah. And you can't see how Ben reacts to it, because you can't see his face. He's hiding.
Well, it's so cool to see it from so many different perspectives, that it's a weapon that can be seen across star systems, Do you guys think that, I might be not remembering my my post books about this movie.
Okay.
Do you think Mon Mothma dies here?
I think she's already passed before the sequels, if I remember right. But and I want to bring this up right here, JJ takes a lot of flack for not explaining any of the galactic situation, right?
Well, it was cut.
Well, yeah, that character that was just looking at the blast coming to her was a agent sent by Leia. We were supposed to meet Leia much earlier. Happy that we didn't. I think this works better. But also, in the writing phase, JJ was going to just have some cutaway scenes explaining the status of the New Republic and explaining the First Order and how it all works. And Kasdan said, you don't need to. This movie can just be delightful. You don't need to get into that stuff. We all know it's been talked about to death that J.J. loves mystery box storytelling, right? But it was more so by Lawrence Kasdan's input, right? Yeah, just the quote was, "You don't need to. This movie can be delightful." I love that it's not Finn, it's not Han, it's BB-8, the person that started Rey on the journey, that comes back and is like, "Hey, come back." But
Yeah,
here
I feel
come the
like
bad
BB-8
guys.
gets a lot of flack nowadays, where they're like, yeah, he's a silly droid, give me R2, it's better. But he's really great in this, This is the shot I was talking
your
about
Apocalypse
earlier,
Now
this trailer.
ties.
Yeah, so good.
Do you think it's very funny? Han sees Luke's weapon. Where did you get that? A good story for another time. 10 years later, we still have not heard this story.
We will.
I love the edits, at the, she hands the lightsaber to Luke, and the meme that's like, hey, there was a hand with that.
Did you
find a hand?
Well, and hey, we all talked about how much we loved the opening shot of this movie. One of the original opening shots was the saber with Luke's severed hand attached to it, floating through space. Very happy that is not. Cool. Oh, I thought that would have been so
I think
cheesy.
It would have been so cool.
I think it would have gotten unintentional giggles.
I'm sad that this castle is destroyed because we have so few castles in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I want more castles. Like, we got Vader's castle, we got Mazda's castle, and that's kind of it.
Again, another Rey failure. She forgot to take the safety off like Han told her. She misses, and then she hits it. I know I'm pointing out all the failures, but she has this rep for being an infallible superhero, and that is not the case. She's good at a lot of stuff, but she's not anywhere near as bumbling as Luke is in Episode 4, right? She's not. But she
also
messes
didn't
up a
have
bunch.
Parents,
and
had to take care of herself and lives in an AT-AT,
Yeah. That was David Collins' voice. Mm-hmm. The girl went north, or whatever. The droid went north with a girl. Full on. You if you know, you know. That's Dave.
And if you're listening to the music right now, it's we're in 3-4.
So in a moment, Han Solo does a behind-the-back shot.
Yeah, 180 no-scope, baby.
I love that it sets up for Ben to do that in Rise of Skywalker, that, he is very much his father's son. Do we think that's too OP for Han Solo?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I remember, and again, Sam Witwer said this somewhere, that he took it as the Force isn't done with Han. Because he shoots, and then they cut to the behind-the-back shot, and his arm kind of goes slack, and it's almost like he's like, huh, weird. And then it's like it wasn't intentional. The Force, used him to keep him alive. That's about the only way I can rationalize it. Yeah, again, Finn just left the First Order yesterday and just ran a stormtrooper through. Not a moment of, that could have been me.
And knows this guy, and he's like, traitor,
Do you guys think... I don't know why this traitor guy is like the best stormtrooper, but do you guys think that John Boyega was done wrong by the marketing campaign for this movie? That all the posters had him with the lightsaber and not Daisy?
Wrong by this movie, wrong by this entire freaking, wrong by everything.
Yeah.
By the whole trilogy. He's so good in this movie, and they just sideline him later,
I think that I love it for what it means for this movie, because there's a top 5, maybe top 3 Star Wars moment for me later in this movie that doesn't happen if you know from marketing. It's when Rey pulls the saber to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if we all knew, right? We were all pretty sure. But if it was on the poster, it doesn't have that same gravitas. And I think, because I see people get mad that Finn got, quote-unquote, sidelined in this movie. I think in this movie it all works.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This, one of my favorite new music, Concerto for X-Wings, pops in right here. And this sequence is so great. My only qualm with the sequence is I wish we didn't see Poe's face right there.
I love it.
I wish we just got all of the stuff, and then that way Boyega can be like, wait, that's some X-Wing. Also, dude takes out, I counted.
10.
10.
Yes.
10 in one little sequence. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic because we'll see it here in a second and we'll count them. I don't know if we're synced up. So, Zach, you count them when it comes.
No. I'm talking about things that we're about to see.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's a moment where, that in the original Duel of the Fates script, the draft that's gone everywhere. So here you go. 1, 2, 3.
3, 4.
Yeah.
5, 6. Some troopers.
For bonus.
7, 8.
Yeah.
9. 10.
All one shot.
Flawless victory.
Yeah. That's one hell of a pilot. Woo! You wish we saw his face there?
No, I wish we didn't see it until they meet again. If he's just like, man, that's a crazy pilot, and then you get the payoff. He's like, oh no, he's still alive.
But I guess we wouldn't know it was him. We could guess it was him, but we wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, he has an X-wing that's a different color than everyone else.
This movie moves so fast. I don't even know. It would have been a while for me to even catch it.
Well, now it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's so good. And this is the same set that they duel on later. They just covered it with snow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took me a bit to notice it's the same set. But yeah, again, here she is losing epically and so ineptly to Kylo Ren. Everybody acts like she defeats him the first time they face off. She gets pretty effectively and completely wrecked right here.
Yeah.
She is helpless. But I was starting to say that's one hell of a pilot that Finn yells as Poe is doing work. It's something that we're going to call back to in the Duel of the Fates script that went everywhere. It's similar. Poe is flying over a ground battle where Finn is doing work, and he just says, that's one hell of a soldier.
Oh.
You know. I'm sure that when JJ came back, came back to do 9, that he went out of his way to do nothing that was in the Duel of the Fates script, right? But that's a moment, because that's kind of how you have to do it. You want to do an authentic you version of a story. But just steal that moment, man. Put it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Be very cute. Yeah. So,
he's scary here.
Mm-hmm.
Kylo's scary here, you know? He knocks her out with the Force.
With the Force.
He just goes, whoop, and she's limp, you know?
It's my only real critique. I wish, at this moment, with Han staring at Kylo Ren, I wish we had no idea that they were related yet. I wish we didn't. I wish you just cut the.
Until I saw our son.
Exactly. Because I think that would hit with 10 times more punch.
Yeah.
Well, Star Wars traditionally does not do good reveals with stuff like that, other than I am your father. But
No.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Boyega, or just Finn in general, always yelling Rey?
It didn't start till this moment.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really happen in Last Jedi. It's a fault of Rise of Skywalker that he just runs around the movie yelling her name.
Yeah.
So I thought at this point, because Han just dismisses Finn's concern about Rey. For me, I was like, she's Luke's kid. She'll be fine. But it's not. It's that he's got, and maybe it is, but he's got bigger problems. This is the way to meet
My
Leia.
ex-wife's here. Okay.
This is the way for Leia to re-enter the story, and this is the way for C-3PO to enter the story.
I hate this. I hate this with every fiber of
I think
my
it's
being.
so funny. It's perfectly
I hate
in tune with the
so
character.
Much. Yeah, but I hate it.
Why?
This makes me want to hate C-3PO more than I already like.
I think that's the bit, man. I think JJ writes the best C-3PO in the franchise.
But this is it. This is all you get.
She
Yeah,
has
this
some
whole
other
movie.
sines.
Yeah.
He talks about R2. Oh my gosh, I love it. I think it's perfect. They have it's not like Ray. It's not like Leia and Chewie don't hug in this movie.
Yeah.
They hug here.
This is so sweet. He's like, "Hi, I missed you."
And then he looks at Han and looks at her and was like, and I take that as, hey, get over yourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, if right there I saw him, I saw our son. Worth mentioning, not just, rest in peace, our princess, Carrie Fisher, but she hadn't acted on screen in years and was terrified of doing this movie. She was a screenwriter and just a happy retired person, and she was like, wait, you want me to act as Leia again? 30 years late? Why? Oh, no. And I think,
this is the reunion I wanted for Finn. I mean,
sure.
This is the reveal I wanted. But
I do think, I've heard it said that they didn't really have anything. You could tell they didn't have anything for Poe to do after that opening sequence. But I think Oscar Isaac just sells it. Love that bit of BB-8 blowing past Finn and running up to Dad.
Yeah.
How'd you get here? Oh, that guy. And bros. Gotta love,
I love that
dudes being dudes.
He's like, hey, that's my jacket. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Goes to give it back. Nah, man, keep it. It is your sword now. Do wish he still wore the jacket in all of them. I wish that. I mean, he has it in Last Jedi because that movie is 5 minutes after this one. But I wish he still had it in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, Han wears the same clothes throughout 3 movies.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. The guy that plays Snap Wexley in the background.
Guy from Lost.
Yep, and next to Billy Lord, famously again, how you got Carrie to commit. She was like, "I'll do it if you cast my daughter.
Yeah,
give her a role and I'll do it." Big fan campaign for just to recast her as Leia and move forward with other Leia stories. But this bit, who is this lady chastising Chewbacca the Wookiee? I do not like that. I do not like that at all.
He's flirting with her.
She literally was like, "Oh, you must have been so brave." It's like, who are you?
No, I love it. It's old man Chewie flirting, just being like, yeah, and then I did this. Sure.
I guess maybe I will headcanon that's what it is, but I've always heard it as like, you must have been so brave. So is this the Han? Yep, Han and Leia. So how do y'all feel about them going back to? Oh, I was wrong. That's coming. How do you feel about R2-D2 being in plot
low power mode,
sleep mode?
Also dumb.
Oh no, I thought this was heartbreaking. This was so. Oh. I know it was supposed to be like a hero reveal, kind of, but it was just so sad to just see him
under a tarp.
Parked over there under a tarp.
I love it. I think because it honestly it gets you a win later after Han's death.
Yeah. Right.
That it yes, he powers on at just the right time. But I thought that was part of Luke's plan. Yeah. Because when Rey arrives, the droid turns on. When the next Jedi has found their way to me, that's when you turn on, not before. Nobody else can find their way here. Yeah. And I still think that's what it is.
I love this moment of Leia and Han talking about their kid, and he's like, Luke was a Jedi, I couldn't done. She's like, yeah, but you're his dad. Like, you're his father. Like, ugh. Also, earlier we talked over it, but like, don't do that. Do what? Anything. Such a great Han and Leia. Like,
when was the last time you helped? And don't say the Death Star. How do you feel about this dialogue about how they went back to the only things they were ever good at after Ben went bad?
I like it. I don't bump into it at all.
I've seen you see all the time that a lot of people get mad that they weren't happy and together and had lived happily ever after, and sure, but I think to have a story, things can't be perfect.
Yeah, I do say that something this movie has to be really careful about is undoing everything that happened in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like everybody flies off into the sunset and everything's great, and Luke did this wonderful thing and defeated the Empire, and then here we are a few decades later and everything's back to what it was.
Yeah. It's something that they said in tie-in material and in the Force Awakens novelization, that the First Order is not this galaxy-controlling superpower, but this movie doesn't really give us any indication of anything other than that. You know what I mean? And yeah, I will give you that. I I think Leia's arc works. I think Han's arc works. I don't think that he would have stayed this rebellion general. I think that if his son went to the dark side, who we're about to meet, I think he would run away from it all and he'd go back to scum and villainy.
Yeah.
How did y'all...
He looks like Anakin here.
Yes. How did y'all react to the mask coming off and seeing this kind of dopey-looking dude with great hair?
Yeah, does his helmet have a hairdryer in it? Because where's the hat here? You know?
I spend all my budget on hair cream.
I loved this reveal. Because you don't know. Like, you know, you don't know who he is. You know he's their son, but, like, I don't know. There's something nice about seeing that he's just a normal person and wears a mask to wear a mask, you know?
Yeah.
Just a boy in a mask.
Yeah.
I think that's when you first start seeing that he's playing a character.
Yeah.
He's pretending Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wishes he was Vader and he's not. Love that she's been dreaming of the Octo Island for...
Yeah.
I've always thought it was like for years. Well, I think he says you see it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He also does. He's a great at just like it's so nice to see Kylo take a different approach here. You know, he's not force like harming to get the information. He's like, oh no, he's gonna disappoint you. He's my dad. You know, like, and then he's like, okay, it's not gonna work. But I love the fear that we're about to see in his eyes.
Well,
of her getting information. You see the like, wait, no, what? You know?
You see the way it switches. Right now, he's got all the power, and then she, in a minute, I won't give you anything. She starts to resist, and then she flips it around on him. I love the Force when it's instinctive and reactionary. When it's, like, yeah, Luke says I don't want them to have access to God-level Force powers at moment one, but the people that are super sensitive to it, their midichlorian count is big. Right? They can, like, under enough stress, have some success with it. You see that in real life. People that have natural aptitude, when they're under enough stress,
moms
things can just
pick up
happen.
Cars to save their babies. You know, it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of Snape and Harry in the Occlumency lesson.
Sure. Yes. And yeah, and Adam Driver's so good.
Yeah. I also love that he immediately goes and whines to his master.
She is stronger with the Force.
She's stronger with the Force.
Untrained, but stronger than she knows. And I think if you watch this movie with...
I love that he hides his face here from Hux. He
Yeah.
sees Hux coming, he's like, oh crap, I don't have my helmet.
Yeah. Because he doesn't want anybody to see who he is, right?
Yeah.
He's hiding. That's the whole thing. But if you watch this movie through the lens of Kylo knows who Rey is, I think it all works. But that's part of the success of this movie is JJ had barely over 2 years to get this movie made, right? Because in October 2012, the buyout happened, right? And they said, this movie comes out in 2015. They announced it the day the Disney buyout went public of Lucasfilm. And they didn't even hire JJ till like early 2013, if I remember right, or late 2012. So to make a movie that was going to continue the Star Wars universe with a whole trilogy, you had to leave as many doors open as possible. He had one task: set up a new exciting status quo and new exciting characters, with lots of doors open for whoever comes next to do whatever they want to do. And it does that in spades.
Speaking of setting up people, Stormtrooper.
Yeah. FN 007.
Yeah, I think it's JB 007. Daniel Craig, a soundstage over, filming one of the Bond movies. And, hey, you want to come be a Stormtrooper? Yes.
Yeah. Also, with the Wake Out Dead Man, I want to redub the scene as Benoit Blanc. I will tighten those restraint scavengers scum.
That's awesome.
So look out for that video soon.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Well, and to step back a few minutes to
Yeah.
to Hux and Kylo talking to Snoke, it just shows you again that this is the discount empire. I mean, it's like you don't have Vader and Tarkin. You have these 25-year-old kids that can't handle this.
Yeah.
And you start to see all the cracks start showing once there's a little bit of pushback.
Which reminds me, because I forgot to talk about this earlier, do you remember who you guys thought Snoke was in 2015? Did you have any "your Snoke theory sucks" theories, as the internet liked to say?
I thought it was Palpatine.
Yeah, really?
I mean, which ultimately I guess it was, but not in the way that I thought it was. I thought it was this is what Palpatine looks like when you dig him out of the wreckage of the Death Star.
Cool. What about you, Zach?
See, it's so confusing to me because we got the tie-in info about him of he was a senator and this and he knew Han and Leia, and there's just so much backstory that they built in for this movie that ultimately kind of falls apart for me when you get the reveal in Rise of Skywalker. So it's I don't know.
And they
I feel
really
Snoke is a fumble.
That's only in the Force Awakens novelization. All of the lead-up material to this movie and for the whole sequel trilogy was as vague and non-committal as possible because Disney mandated the films had to come out so quickly. Non-negotiable. Yeah. They had to come out. So all the tie-in material had to be as vague as possible because these movies were in constant flux. Right? They just were. That was the reality of the situation. Okay? And the movie had to come out on this date. So things were going to have to change and change wildly. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's the facts of the case. Right?
That just seems like such a mismanagement.
It absolutely is, but when you're a company that prioritizes the dollar, you're going to get a return on your $4 billion investment as quickly as possible, and there's no better way to do that than to make a new trilogy of movies with the characters from the first trilogy still around. Which, in a way, it's good that they did, because had they waited too long, we wouldn't have gotten Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
And again, through all of those lenses, this movie succeeds on all counts, in my opinion. Yeah. When you take into account all of that, all the pressure, all the demands, all the needs, all the directions from the corporation, this is the best version of that movie that you could have gotten.
That's true, but I think that also there's no way to devalue an intellectual property than making a bunch of bad movies.
Oh, sure. And 100%.
And not saying that these are bad movies, but the sequel trilogy devalued that property.
Yep. Well, but I will also say in the same way that the prequels did, substantially. The hate was just as strong. It's not now. But the first time I heard someone say the words that Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie was 2020. I remember it vividly, and I had never heard that before. And people will say it's because they dislike these movies so much. But it was the same thing. I had people coming into this movie, leading up to it, telling me it's going to be bad, just like the prequels. It's going to be bad, just like the prequels. I heard it from everybody.
Yeah.
And then there were Star Wars fans that were actual, just fans that just like Star Wars. That were like, I don't know, man, I bet it's going to be good. And the build-up to this was crazy. And the marketing was all about how it's not. Yes, $2 billion. And the marketing was all about how it's not the prequels. But we're talking over this moment. Last time Han and Leia ever speak. I love it.
And I love that she's like, I always hated watching you go, no matter how hard things were.
I love that his jacket has the little
code
cylinders, just like the Empire jackets.
So one of my favorite additions post this movie, right? That kind of retconning part of this movie that works is, I think it's in either in Fallen Order or Survivor. We figure out that Starkiller Base here is the planet Ilum.
Yes.
Which is where we see the Jedi go and get their crystals, their kyber crystals, in the Clone Wars cartoons. So I think it's so cool that the place that they turn into a base, that you need giant kyber crystals for in the Death Star, is the place that you get kyber crystals.
Yes.
But also sad to see it explode.
And that they bled the crystals going with modern canon, and that it's a red beam. Makes you wish the Death Star laser was a red beam, but whatever, it's still cool. Love that, as always, it's Han and Chewie flying by the seat of their pants. If I get any higher, they'll see us! And they're screaming. It's perfect, and they are this close to death. Literally land on the edge of a cliff. It's perfect Star Wars. Han and Chewie are still who they have always been. They've grown and changed a little bit, but up against it, pressure reveals who you are. As for Snoke, bouncing back to that from earlier, I thought homie was Plagueis.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
That's where I thought they were
That could've
going.
been cool.
Now, it's fine, and it was funny. The biggest thing that flew against that for me was there was an interview with Lawrence Kasdan where he was like, "Who's Plagueis?" So, thoughts about this? The reveal of Finn the
sanitation.
janitor. How do y'all feel about that?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Explain.
I mean, he's a stormtrooper when we meet him, so I guess he would have done time here before being upgraded to a stormtrooper as a sanitation, but in like some of the prequel comics, we've seen that he's always been trained as a stormtrooper. So are all janitors stormtroopers? I don't know. It gets a little mucky.
He also says in this movie, in my first battle, I chose not to kill for them. So the Finn's story before this doesn't work a lot of the time. I think it's funny. It gives us a great line. That's not how the Force works. And it sets up kind of ultimately later on, Finn would learn, at least for him, that is how the Force works. Because he figures out where the signal's coming from to launch the fleet if you just, for his way into it, that's how it works. By the way, there's a lot of shots of Chewie in this movie that are Jonas Suotamo, the new Chewbacca actor, and then there's shots that are the OG Peter Mayhew. That one with him and Phasma is Peter. You can see his blue eyes.
Really?
You can see, and they go back to, you can see his blue eyes but it's Peter's eyes just staring at her, side-eyeing really hard. We'll get back to it in a minute. Speaking of cameos, here's the first time Sam Witwer and David Collins fill the background discussing Star Wars tech and how it's not what it should be as stormtroopers.
Not as good as the T-17s.
Yeah, that's what they tell you, but what you don't know, and it's just a bit from them all getting together and making up background voices. The movie had been shot, and they're just filling the background with silly jokes.
What do we think that this trench thing is? Have they ever explained it? Because there's like doors in it. Is it storage?
I mean, it's Star Wars style, where these are things that similar to what she did. Yeah, giant greeblies. Similar to what she did in the Super Star Destroyer for years. She's good at climbing on stuff, and
that's true.
She can. It's there for that sequence. I think it's part of the thing that powers the weapon. You know, there's hundreds of trenches like that in my mind, and I'm sure there's a reference book that tells you exactly what it is.
I think Phasma's such a wasted character in this movie.
Sure. I like what it says about Finn's growth. I think there could have been a fight later. There was, but there could have been I think there could have been, whatever. A simple way to make her not wasted. Not to say, a simple way to give her more to do. Replace the Traitor Trooper with Phasma.
Yeah.
If that's a duel with Finn and Phasma, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. What we got was fun. But, you know.
It's the bad guy from Jurassic Park, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. Is it?
No, he's
no.
He's in Tokyo Drift, I'm pretty sure.
He's in Tokyo Drift, he's in X-Men 3, he's in other things.
Yeah.
I can't think of that.
That's what I know him from is X-Men 3.
There you go. Yeah. He's one of the weird, like,
one of the
emo
bad
punk mutants. Again, forgot the actor Snap Wexley's name. Greg Grunberg. There we go. Pays to be J.J. Abrams' best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, I'm going to give you a cameo in a Star Wars. Oh, I forgot to talk about it, but one of the behind-the-scenes things we know, in that scene where they're all around the table planning the attack, and Greg's a huge Star Wars fan and was having a moment kind of freaking out that he's about to deliver lines with Han Solo and Princess Leia and all these legends and Admiral Akbar and all these legends in the room. First time they did a cut, JJ razzed him. Like, man, that was terrible. Say the line better, okay? And he's like, oh my God, dude. Like, can you not right now?
Not the time.
That's funny. I want to be JJ's best friend.
You're right. Yeah, it works him into everything. Gave him a cameo in the third Star Trek, and got him into Star Wars. Made him
And Lost.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's a
so good
pilot
in that
there
show,
too, right? Or did I make
he's
that up?
Yeah, he is. And then he gets a cool power. No, that's Heroes. He's also in Heroes,
Yes.
which he's so good in.
Here's the last great bit of John Boyega improv. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm trying to make up a plan. He taps him and looks. Now, the looks that Han Solo gives in this moment, in this, and then when you meet Rey again, whereas he's like, yep. To me, I was like, yep, Luke's kid. And really what I think it is ultimately, yep, I got to get this kid to Luke. She's the next one. Really, that's all it is. She's the next one.
Yeah, that's how the Force works.
Just, she's the next one. We got to get her there. No matter what, I got to get that kid to Luke.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's the first time in her life that anyone has come back for her.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We might have talked over it, but it might be coming. But Poe is about to say, or just said, as long as there's light, we still have a chance.
Yes.
It pays off so well later.
Yes.
Also, this scene right here, improvised. They
Handed
go
him
back
the
in, and what's his name? Sorensen? Is that his name?
Jonas.
Yeah, Jonas picks up the jacket and he's like, "Oh, I should hand this on. We're going outside."
Hilarious.
And that's why he gives them the look like, "What are you handing to me?" Like, "Oh."
This movie, you can tell, was being edited up to the last minute, because for these flying sequences, we don't get any John Williams music. We get a great cue later. Adagio for X-Wings, I think is what it's called. Full-on classical music, but nothing in all those flying sequences.
You don't need it, though.
Yeah, you're right.
I like those aliens that they introduce here with the big old
Yeah.
mustaches. For me, if they had just been like, these are Bothans, I'd have been like, cool.
Honestly, yes. I think there was a bit where we thought they were.
Yeah.
And then the reference book came out, and they're like, nope. And, of course, we forgot to talk about it, but in the sequence where they were boarding the Falcon, Harrison Ford's leg got stuck in the door, and he,
Was that where he got hurt?
broke part of his leg, and then JJ ended up, messing up. I think he fractured, a small fracture in, his back, because he was trying to lift the set piece off of Harrison, and they had to shut down
they
production
shut
for
down-
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, other fun little fact: there's a Batman Begins Batmobile on the X-wing.
There is.
on the Millennium Falcon.
Got to talk about
Please.
this moment. Can't let it get by. I remember seeing this at midnight. As soon as they separated here, there was a lady behind me that was reacting to everything very audibly. You could tell she had been a fan for a while. As soon as they separated, she went, "Oh no!" And Han and Chewie, this whole sequence is so well constructed. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
The moment they come into this place. You know. We'll meet back here later. Oh no, here it comes.
Yeah. Also, my only problem with this is these bombs are giant, and you could see them they have a big red light, so if you're a stormtrooper walking by, you're like...
I mean, there's big red
That-
lights all over this place, man. It's literally a
Yeah, I
big black
guess.
room with red lights.
I guess.
But it's set up so well. The troopers disappear. They're looking for Dad, and there's a second you get a push in on Han, and he could sneak away, but Leia begged him, try and bring the kid home. And I would I have loved a scene of Han, Luke, and Leia together? Absolutely. Do I love more that we got the completion of Han Solo's character arc? That someone who was so selfish and so out for himself is literally willing to give his life for somebody.
His son.
Obviously, he had become a rebellion hero. There's the shot where he decides this is it. Yeah, he had become a rebellion hero, absolutely. But
Also, who's building these
To this
catwalks
degree.
without railings?
there are never any railings in Star Wars. There's no insurance companies. But speaking of other memory from Midnight, this is the one thing I remember Lance saying. As soon as we got to that shot of Han walking out, Lance next to me says, "I'm not ready."
I knew it.
I'm
We
not
all
ready.
knew it was coming.
And
I cried so
fantastic
hard.
reveal. Ben said the way a dad would.
Yeah.
And that's his name, and that is perfect. That is the perfect name for the son of the heroes of the original trilogy. And I think, I don't know if it's been said, but to me, Han named him. That guy, hokey religions, ancient weapons, that old fossil, eventually is like, okay, that's the guy that brought us together.
And
let's
with
name the kid
series, that's the guy that saved Leia as a kid.
Yep,
you know?
100%. So let's
Harrison
name the kid
Ford's
Ben.
so good. You can see the hurt on his face when he calls him Ben, and Kylo turns around and says Han Solo. He won't call him Dad, won't call him Father.
And so I've talked a lot about this is the missing piece of canon, but I'm going to talk about it here. I like that we're kept in the dark as to what exactly went wrong. And there were different versions hinted at in tie-in material of what went wrong, but we still don't know. Same as with Obi-Wan and Anakin in the prequels. But I would like to know this story. What went wrong?
Also, these are such Anakin lines here.
Yep.
You know, your son was weak, so I killed him. He is giving, similar lines that we see in the prequels, but doing such a great job at it, you know?
Yep.
Also, so I was talking about earlier, as long as there's light, we have hope. You see the light on his face.
Yes.
And as soon as it's all gone.
So it's a cute movie thing, but this is a movie and not a novel, so you don't see the words. And so you can, in my mind, because, Finn says earlier, Starkiller Base uses the power of the sun. Right? He's not saying S-O-N, but the Force is saying that the First Order uses the power of Han and Leia's son.
Well, and
they have turned
line,
him to the dark side.
Han's line earlier about Snoke really does make you think that Han knows who Snoke is.
Yeah. I would have, and we'll still get it eventually, but I'd love a new Jedi Order animated show.
Yeah.
Get into all that. Han, Luke, and Leia cameo sometimes. And and for all of my dislike of things in the next ones, this scene coming back in Rise of Skywalker is cinema.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. This is the moment where Kylo commits, and then it's, again, the moment where Ben comes back. But it's played perfectly. I think he's going to give the saber to Han here until the light goes out.
Goes away.
And in my mind, they're going to fire the weapon. It's too late. I have to commit.
Yeah.
Because he looks almost content here, and then they cut back.
The switch.
Yeah.
You'd see the switch in his eyes.
They cut back, and now they're fighting over the weapon.
Yeah, that's the Juilliard.
The pain in Chewie's yell.
What gets me most is the hand on the face.
Yep, that he in his last moment he forgives him. And again, you see it on Ben. He thinks this is going to make him stronger. This is what Snoke wanted. You've never faced this test. You've never been willing to do what Vader couldn't and kill your family, right? But then they do a close-up on Ben again in a second, and there you go, and he looks weakened. He doesn't understand. Why didn't that work?
Yeah. And Leia feels it.
Carrie does a great job.
Also, I think it was in the contract that Harrison was like, if I'm coming back, you're killing me. You're making sure I fall down a hole. There's no way I'm coming back.
Yeah. In a planet that's going to immediately get blown up. Like
that lady that was making so much noise behind me when Chewie shot him, I just remember vividly, yeah, kill him!
Well, and you got to think that Chewie's known Ben Solo since the day he was born, his entire life.
Yep. Yeah. So look up, I've talked about it on the show before, but look up the one-page comic called Ben by Tyson Murphy. I found it on Tumblr years ago. It's just called Ben, and it shows that perspective and everything Chewie was thinking about in that moment. You see him holding Ben as a baby, and the comic is he chooses not to shoot the kid in the head. Shoots him in the hip.
Yeah.
That's headcanon for me forever. And we know it was JJ's idea for Kylo to kill Han. That was one of the first things he brought to the table. That wasn't going to happen. And then JJ was like, well, no, for Kylo to actually be a passable villain, we're never going to outdo Vader. He's got to do something bold. He's got to kill Han Solo. Because go ahead.
He gets in front of them so quickly here.
Yeah. Who knows? He ran fast. They have to climb down the thing, and he can just walk out the door, and, you know. Yeah. The first entry in every Star Wars trilogy, the mentor character gets killed by a red lightsaber-wielding bad guy dressed in black. Yeah. I think that the move was Han Solo.
Punching.
Yeah, that
punching of like harness your pain, harness your anger.
Because he's trying to stay up. He's trying to stay like angry, and you know that's what gives him power. And man, we'll never forget the video that went super viral of John Boyega watching the final trailer, I think it was, and seeing the shot of himself wielding a lightsaber and just full-on fanboying, losing his mind, as anybody would.
So how does he know that it's Luke's lightsaber? He would have never seen it.
Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
He probably can sense it.
Yeah, or what visions he's had that Palpatine has put in his head.
And I like that and of course, that first exchange, Finn gets a shot in, and now Kylo's like, cool, I'm not playing around anymore. I'm going to finish this guy. I'm going to toy with him now and burn him, but I'm going to finish him.
Qui-Gon into the shoulder is so gnarly and cool. I love it.
Oh, so scary.
Also, so this is the first movie we have where they actually have lightsabers that are lighting practical,
so that you get the lighting on them.
Which is really cool, but that's also why they're not whipping it, you know, like they did in the prequels.
So, go ahead.
Oh, the spine slashes. Ugh.
Give him the giant butt crack there, all the way up his back.
We all knew, we all knew what I was setting up earlier, but this is one of the best Star Wars moments of all time. Mm-hmm. That flies right past Kylo, and it's the first time she intentionally uses the Force in her life. And it's, to me, that's also, there's probably a little bit of Anakin going like, nope. And Luke, nope. Or, well, not Luke, but Anakin. This sword has been used for enough evil. And late in editing, they put in the track of Luke seeing Owen and Beru's corpses as the musical moment there. John Williams had composed something else. You can hear it on the soundtrack, and it is not as good. That moment, I remember the crowd, when you can, like, feel silence, was how it felt. Like, everyone was just, you know. Lance, you don't like it.
I was just thinking I was thinking about the choreography of the fight scene just there, and I know that I'm projecting this onto the situation, but a lot of her fighting style is reminiscent of Palpatine in the throne room in Revenge of the Sith.
Stabs.
Yeah, just great big pokes with the lightsaber. Nobody else does that.
So she's also used to fighting with the staff.
Oh,
you know?
Good call.
It's big thrusts, like big slashes and pokes. That's what you would do with the quarterstaff.
Dude, good call.
Yeah,
thanks.
I never thought about that.
Combat trained.
Right on. It's funny. For all the cover song episode 4 stuff, the only thing that I personally actually do kind of bump up against is the forcing into a trench run. It's a super fun sequence, but I remember going, that's the one that is like, okay, I do like Starkiller Base because it's a new thing. It's a hyper lightspeed weapon. Crazy overpowered, but it's new, and you can see it, and that's scary, and that it's like stationary, and it sucks stars and stuff. Like, that's all new and cool. You didn't have to do a trench run. You just wanted to, dog.
This sequence always reminded me because Lego Star Wars had already come out at this point, and in Return of the Jedi, you would go in and shoot the different little batteries inside and then fly out. So this always reminded me of that.
And oh gosh, I was going to say something else. Oh, I just always thought it was very funny. I forgot to bring it up in the battle plan sequence, but they call that thing a thermal oscillator because heat fan just wouldn't have been good enough words. I remember
when
going,
when the computer
come
gets
on.
really hot, that's what goes to.
Yeah, it's your thermal oscillator.
I do remember going, Heat fan? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You can come up with some better gobbledygook. And he's toying with her. He does not want to finish her. In a minute, he does the Vader thing.
Yeah.
Of, I can show you the way to the Force.
So, that's, I think, one of the few times that we see a really classic sword technique, which is to, you slide along the blade, and you don't really see that often in lightsaber, which I think is really cool.
I don't remember. I heard this recently. I don't know I can't remember who it was, but a different director, again kicking it with JJ, pitched the idea. What if when she's up against it, she has a moment of calm, does what Maz suggested earlier, and as she actually surrenders to the Force, now she's ready to go to work.
Yeah. Because he gets messed up here.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought, because you see it here in a second, she's gotten his leg lightly, she's gotten his shoulder lightly, and then she gets him across the face.
He has a hole in his side,
To me,
I love this that we're about to get where they're both holding each other's lightsabers, and she pushes his into the snow.
Yeah,
it's such a cool visual.
And you get the, again, we're muted, but bum ba 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 ba. Yeah,
there's just so much of this that works so well.
And rewatching this, you see a lot of people complain about her being OP. I don't see it. Kylo has had a terrible day. Has gotten shot by the most overpowered Star Wars weapon we've ever seen, right?
Yeah. And this is so reminiscent of Vader. Even the shirt is almost up.
Yes.
Like the cowl.
And coming out of that moment, I remember thinking, because his face has gotten horribly slashed, I thought, oh, okay, he needs a helmet now.
Yeah.
Not, we're going to move the scar because we want him to still be attractive, and then we're going to fix it.
Stitch it up.
Yeah, give him metal Band-Aids.
I remember I liked the look of the metal Band-Aids because it was kind of sunk into his skin. I thought that looked cool. But it was then once the Star Wars Stitch droid, he was just closing everything up. It was cool, but I get it. They wanted it's because they were doing a love story thing.
Yeah. Which
JJ says on the commentary was something, an idea they toyed around with. That when he takes the helmet off, she's like, oh, wait, what? And then he was like, yeah, we didn't know. We figured it could go a Romeo and Juliet way. And again, they were trying to leave options open. Right?
Well, and if they were going to make them siblings, that's very Star Wars too, right?
Yeah, coming out of this movie, I was convinced, mostly just because but I thought she was Luke's kid. I thought she was Luke's lost kid, that Kylo knew that. And to me, that's why Leia hugged her. That's why she's the one that goes to get Luke. That's why R2 turns back on. That's why she's so naturally powerful, because she's the grandchild of Anakin Skywalker. What we got is fine. In that, once you remove yourself from what Last Jedi said it was, and then Rise of Skywalker went, no, actually it's this. But that was in 2015. That's what I thought, and I got made fun of a lot.
Well, and in her fight too, she does a lot of Palpatine faces too. It's very interesting that they didn't know. She has some of the same
Well, and I think we know from the Art of books, which is really the only behind-the-scenes stuff we've actually gotten, outside of stuff I pulled from interviews, that one of the ideas from the beginning was for her to choose the Skywalker name, but it was undecided if she was going to be a Palpatine that chose to be a Skywalker or a nobody that chose to be a Skywalker. Also, want to point out, at this point, J.J. Abrams was lens flare man, and everybody was worried he was going to cover Star Wars in lens flares, and I think it's very funny that he was like, okay, if I'm only going to get one, I'm going to fill the screen with a lens flare. Starkiller Base will become a lens flare.
It was just ILM showing off for 25 seconds.
And
also, that would totally mess up the star system that's there. Putting the point of gravity just a couple hundred feet. That system's ruined.
Oh, not a couple hundred feet. Across the galaxy, because it's pulling from planets that are nearby, or from suns that are nearby. So it is awkward that she walks right past Chewie, and they've admitted it was an oversight, but I do love just that they sense each other, and that they again, they don't have to talk.
Yeah.
They just know. But again, I thought she was going, that's niece.
Kind of weird that General Leia has painted fingernails, but I guess you still got to have girl time.
Hey, it doesn't take that long to paint your nails.
I think they've said in some kind of ancillary material that it was just a happy accident that R2 powered up when he did, but I'm headcanoning forever that R2 was like, I'm going to set up something to where the next Jedi shows up, I'm back.
But it's also so sad that R2 wakes up and Han's dead, everything that he has to learn here, you gotta imagine he's a little rocked.
But then the first thing, R2 and 3PO bicker. Perfection. Weird CGI C-3PO there. Strange, in a way that he isn't. And I think this late in the game where they're like, crap, we forgot to put him in this shot. Just as he walks up next to R2, you can tell he's CGI. I love this moment. This worked for me. The old droid and new droid, we're putting the maps together. We've worked the whole movie to get this, and we finally have a way to get Luke back.
Well, and it's a nice payoff because he did plug into the Death Star, and had those archives.
I think that's what they've said. That's where he got.
Yeah. Well, because earlier in the movie they set it up. They're like, we're looking through the Death Star archives on the First Order side to figure out where the map is.
We're looking for the archives of the Empire, but we need the last piece.
Yeah.
So at some point, Luke basically ripped the digital map apart.
Which is not that big of a part of a map.
I think it's that... Oh, by the way, do y'all get romance here? We didn't talk about it. Just ignoring everything else, do y'all think this is romantic?
Yes.
A little bit, but it's vague, It's vague enough.
I also think he has a back injury.
It's both, but she does also friend zone him in the last moment.
Yeah.
I will see you again.
Oh, I think she friend zoned him the minute Kylo took his helmet off.
Said hair.
Carrie Fisher lovingly called this hairstyle baboon ass.
I miss her.
Me too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Would have loved to have her.
Costume here too.
So much fun. It's so good. And I like that she's brought the blaster that Han gave her with her, as well as the lightsaber, as well as the staff. She's picking up, she's gotten items to carry on
Also,
like the journey.
Like a video game.
These last moments with Chewie, you can tell, are all Peter.
Yeah.
The looks, the twinkle.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great.
Yes. Love it.
It makes me sick that I lived so close to that man for so long and didn't know it until after he died.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived right around here in North Texas. I remember thinking, oh my God, they're going to cut to credits right here. And we're not going to get Luke. Because the movie's done.
Yeah.
Right? And then we came out of hyperspace. I even up into the stars, I was like, oh my God, are we going to go to credits? And I was like, okay, good.
You could have.
You definitely could have.
This ending
but
is so much
this
better.
is one of my favorite endings in any Star Wars movie.
I want to go to Skeleton Michael so bad.
I know,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah. It's
Off the coast of
it's
Ireland.
so expensive. It's like so expensive.
Then
Because
it's
I, of
just
course,
John
looked into it.
Williams.
Yep.
Just, I think they gave John Williams so much space in this movie.
Little bit of things tying into the next one. Late in filming, or late in at least scripting, BB-8 went with him on the journey and not R2, and Ryan was like, can we switch that? I got an idea. I have an idea for a Luke R2 scene. Can we switch it? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. But for this right here, I remember the feeling. I didn't have chills. I was chills. It was like, oh my, we're going to see my lifelong cinematic hero again for the first time in my life.
I know that Mark Hamill didn't want to grow a beard for this movie, but bro grows a great beard. He looks so good.
And, of course, he thought his entrance was the lightsaber came to him when he was reading the script for the first time. I like that didn't happen. I like that the onus is on Rey to get out of that moment.
Yeah.
But, and last Ryan change on Force Awakens, Luke was levitating rocks all around him here. Even in filming was the intention. He had not cut himself off from the Force. And he was like, can we cut those out? I feel both ways about it. I think that there are... We'll talk about Last Jedi when we talk about Last Jedi, but this right here, and again, I heard the crowd gasped at midnight in 2015. Just, and this right here, I remember, I think that same lady went, cool hair.
Oh. I love that we don't get any words here, too.
It's perfect.
We don't need it.
It's perfect. He puts it on a literal cliff. Mark Hamill, greatest tweet of all time. What was your reaction when you read the script for episode 7? Speechless. It's perfect. You see so much on Luke's face. I highly recommend reading the episode 7 script. But, I mean, the script says the intention was he knows who she is. She doesn't have to say it.
Yeah.
Close on Luke Skywalker's incredible face. And promise of an adventure just beginning. And you see all of the fear on his face about getting back involved. So, last thing that I will say about Force Awakens. Other movies in, like... I remember when I saw Pirates 2. This is a random connection. That I thought the movie was kind of all over the place. And it was one of our buddies. I don't remember. It was like, yeah, it was okay, but it was a setup movie. Like, it was just there to set up the next one. What we just watched was a setup movie. That it functions on its own,
good.
and it's great, and it sets up infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
And the last thing I will say, to maybe get spicy, I knew this, but my biggest takeaway from these recent rewatches is the only thing I don't like about this movie is the sequels to it.
I've been trying not to say that for 2 hours because I didn't want you to tell me that we're not being negative here.
And there are things that I like about both of the next two movies. I do not think they are the unwatchable dumpster fires that a lot of the internet paints them out to be. But the simplest way that I can say it is this, because I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. I disagree with what a lot of people say about why Last Jedi went the way it did. And I see a lot of people say that they had to. I disagree. I think JJ put Luke on the island. I think Ryan kept Luke on the island, and he didn't have to. You could have had any number of things that Luke Skywalker was doing out in the middle of nowhere.
Holding an Aboleth back.
He could have been holding an Abeloth back. It could have been as simple as what the movie said. It could have been that he walked away from everything because the Jedi fell apart, and it could be that he had R2 set up to where when the next Jedi finds their way, that's when you wake up, that's when you put the map together, not a moment before that. The First Order cannot find me. If they do, we're screwed. And I'm going to sacrifice everything to make that happen. We have seen a First Order that has been trained in martial combat. We never saw stormtroopers using, like, a blunt weapon before. They've been trained to fight Jedi, was what I took out of this movie. Luke had to run away and had to hide. Because also what we see in the... Sorry, I'm going on a rant. What we see in the original trilogy is Luke learn over the course of those movies to trust his friends to save themselves. In Empire and A New Hope, he runs off to try and save them. Leia's pretty much able to save herself in A New Hope. And in Empire, his friends are able to save themselves, and they have to save him. And in Return of the Jedi, he has learned. Like, you see it. He's like, okay, the Ewoks are going to help my friends. I'm going to go save my dad. I'm going to go do what I have to do. But I can trust them to take care of themselves. And of course, yes, it didn't work out. Han got killed. But I think you can absolutely keep the moment of Luke reacting in instinct to have a moment of, if I kill Ben, it's all fixed. Oh my God, I can't do that. And then run away, but not have him refuse to return. You could have had all the same stuff and had Leia slap him when he comes back and be like, where the hell have you been? And just move forward and not have Luke take a movie to decide that he is who he always has been again. Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's my rant at the end of a positive thing. Leave your rants in the comments below, but now that I've said all of that, somebody else talk, please.
No, I think this movie is definitely the most successful movie of the three. It sets up things beautifully. Is it a kind of retread of A New Hope? Yes. Could they have changed some things to, I think, make it have been not that? Yes. But it's a good movie. I don't rewatch the sequels that often, just because I don't love them. I mean, I love them, but I don't love them. Like, they're fine. They're just not my favorite. Like, if I'm going to sit down and spend 2 hours to watch a movie, I'm going to watch one that I really want to watch again, which is, maybe Force Awakens, maybe Last Jedi, not Rise of Skywalker at all. That's kind of how I rank them. But this movie works. I was rewatching it going, this works. I actually really like this movie. I remember the hype. When this movie finished, everyone was like, hell yeah,
yes.
bro, let's go. Everyone in the theater was cheering. Like, nobody walked out. Even I remember walking out of Rise of Skywalker happy. It's the afterwards that you go back and think, and you're like, I had some problems. But I always say it. All Star Wars movies have problems.
Yeah.
But they're still great. And this one, I think, is the best of the sequels.
Yeah. Lance, go ahead.
It's absolutely the best of the sequels. I agree with Matt. I think that that the only major problems this movie has is when you see the next ones and you're trying to go through and kind of retcon what was actually happening in this. It kind of falls flat. But I have watched this movie over and over and over again, and I never get tired of it. And a lot of that, I think, is just excellent casting. But it just is. It's the prequel trilogy has a special place in my heart. I love those movies, but they're not the same Star Wars as the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. It's a different tone. It's different themes. It's different Star Wars. This is a true sequel to the original trilogy movies, and it doesn't bother me one bit that it's a retread. It's never bothered me. Why would you not just do a Death Star again but bigger? I mean, clearly it worked. So, and the new characters are not a 1-for-1. I mean,
no, definitely not.
Yeah. Who's Luke? Who's Han? Who's the new Leia?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work. So, I loved it. I loved getting to sit here and watch it with you guys too.
Yeah. This was really fun. Thanks, guys. We hope listeners, watchers, you all had a good time as well. I remember very vividly the lead up to and kind of the time after of this movie. Everybody I encountered being so positive. There was one friend that was like, I like the prequels better. And I was like, bro, what? And then when I talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, I mean, the force powers were better. The choreography was better. And I was like, okay. Like, that's fine. If that's what you love, that's rad. But, like, okay. And I'm not trying to say that the prequels are garbage. This is not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that they were hated just as much, if not more, as these movies were at the time. It's just that, look up The People versus George Lucas. It's a documentary that exists. But it was afterwards that a lot of people started to come out of the woodwork and say it's just a retread, and everybody was mad. And even at the time, I was like, this is the movie it had to be, guys.
Do you guys remember how many times you saw this in theaters?
5 times.
Yeah. I saw it at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was as many times as I could get away with.
It was it was Christmas time. I loved Star Wars at Christmas. Star Wars coming back at Christmas was the perfect thing for me. It's my favorite time of year, and it was Christmas. We had nothing to do, so we just went to see Star Wars a bunch. It was great.
Well, we were roommates at the time, I believe.
Yes. Lance and I were. It was after Zach and I had left Oklahoma City after we were roommates, and then I was roommates with Lance. We lived on the Ector Street house.
Ooh,
Shout out Denton, Texas.
I left Matt on Lance's doorstep with a basket that said, "Please feed him Star Wars."
But I remember the day before we went. You were so emotional about it, and you said, we are about to go get new Star Wars. Can you believe we're going to get new Star Wars?
Yeah.
And every time I see this movie, that's what I think about, is like, this is our new Star Wars. Because we got the prequel trilogy, but honestly, we were all kids. I mean, I don't know that I ever felt the weight of the fact that we were getting new Star Wars franchise films.
Because we were too little to understand, that's not to understand, but we hadn't felt the gap.
No, not at all. Because, I remember seeing episode 1 in the theaters, but I was young.
Yeah. We were 10.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember because they had the special edition re-releases too. So I was like, oh, I've already seen everyone, and I've seen all of the original in theater. Cool. Yeah, it's time for the next one. Great. Every couple of years, I got a little Star Wars.
Yeah, it was
just remember
James Bond movies.
Yeah.
I remember the end of Return of the Jedi. I thought about that scene so much leading up to this movie, and I think I watched it a couple times leading up to this movie because I was just trying to wrap my brain around them standing in their family photo op in Bright Tree Village on Endor, smiling. That is no longer the last time we're gonna see our heroes. And I just remember just soaking up that idea and not really being able to handle it. I love that this movie leaves you so much. It gives you so much and takes nothing from you. Is it paper thin at times? Yes. Is it like apple pie, where it's a good time and it's not really going to be nutritious for you at all? But does it do the task of reinvigorating Star Wars while giving you a new status quo and making it incredibly exciting and incredibly emotional and giving you so many new characters where all the doors are open and they're all interesting and you're invested in everybody? It succeeds on all of those accounts. And I will credit The Last Jedi in that it dares to be different and it dares to question if nostalgia is good. I think the way it goes about it isn't... I don't love the way it goes about it, but I can applaud it for, okay, we've made, the movie everybody wanted. Let's debate whether that's what we need. You know what I mean? But I think that you can do that without undoing so much of it. I'm sorry if everybody if you love The Last Jedi, please, that's just as valid. Leave it in the comments below. Email us, forceofothersradio@gmail.com. I don't mean to belittle anybody that loves that movie, because I know Zach loves that movie.
I do, except for Canto Bite. I think we could take a bite out of that and spit it out.
Take a bite out of Canto Bite.
Well, I'm just a guest, so I can say that it's objectively a bad film, and
oh no!
Nobody will really come after me. So,
we'll bring it. We will watch The Last Jedi, and it will basically just be a debate the entire time. Me fending off Lance and Matt.
Oh, we'll probably watch The Last Jedi. I mean, I want to get Tom Hodges on the show because I know that he loves that movie. And I don't know that I dislike it as much as, I've said it to death. I think it is a very well-made film that has a lot of stuff that I don't like. So we will see. We will see. But we'll talk about it a lot.
We'll bring Tom on, and he and I will prepare a debate against you two.
I think, as long as we can keep it civil.
Right.
Because whatever. But as for what we just talked about, I've got all the vibes of 2015 right now. I love that movie. I will always love that movie. I've talked about it on the show before. Canon is canon, legends is legends, and what's canon is canon, period. But when all this stuff is made up, make up your own canon. Make up what's canon to you. And in my opinion, I love so much of Star Wars, but for me, Star Wars ends with this movie. And I guess that's weird because I don't want to invalidate what comes next, but I love the wide open doorway that Force Awakens gives you, right? Of just, we're about to get Luke Skywalker back on the adventure, and just to get Luke Skywalker back on the adventure. So, anywho, leave your thoughts, hopes, dreams, reviews, whatever, about everything Force Awakens related in the comments below, and let us know if we're stupid. Let us know if we're right. But keep it respectful, keep it positive, I like that we had a lot of theories in 2015 about where it could go. And that's something that I hope Starfighter and Mandalorian and Grogu do. Just give us new avenues, do new things. And Ahsoka. Well, we know Ahsoka is about to get wild.
Crazy.
There have been some leaks that have been coming out that I have avoided like the plague, but there's something that I was so mad that I saw it. And I'll say it after the mics turn off if we want to hear it, but I don't want to put spoilers out there. But closing thoughts. We've talked about a lot. Zach, then Lance, then me. Anything else to say, Zach?
Yeah, if you're gonna learn anything from this movie, stay a little whimsical. This movie is fun and light and fun, fast paced. Bring that to your normal life. Seek adventure and seek legends and stay curious and yeah. I really like this movie, and I hope you like it too. If you don't, email us forceofothersradio@gmail.com, and we'll talk about what you talk about. Lance?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not near as philosophical about it as you are. I'm just glad that we got a fun film that was, emotional in all the right places and nostalgic in all the right places, but still something that, despite its accusations, is very, very new and very fresh. We got characters that became instantly lovable parts of the canon forever. And even now we have people that are just begging for these characters to come back. So I think that I hope that Disney listens to that and leans hard into the success that they had with this. I mean, take the win.
Yeah.
Take the win. One of my last things to say. One of my favorite things about this movie is how successful it is at how successful it was at reinvigorating Star Wars and how much they're talking to the audience. The Force Awakens. The original title was Shadows of the Empire, right? And they said, no, there was a very popular Legends novel that's literally called that. Let's not do that. That will confuse everyone. We just wiped the canon, right? But The Force Awakens is Star Wars returning, right? The Force is back, right? And it's an awakening in the world, and that Maz says that, and now it calls to you. Just let it in. So, let the Force in. The belonging you seek isn't behind you, it is ahead. So, and with all that being said, remember, the Force of others will be with you.
Always. The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.
Cute.